Handcrafted, locally roasted coffee beans brewed to perfection just for you. From classic Americanos to lattes and refreshing iced coffees, Cabin Coffee has your caffeine cravings covered. And if you're in need for a bite to eat for breakfast or lunch, they got you covered with a menu full of your favorite breakfast items and delicious sandwiches. So swing on over to River Perry and Altoona and experience the taste of coziness and comfort with Cabin Coffee.
Audible has the best stories of the year with an unbeatable selection of audiobooks, podcasts, and more. Ignite your imagination with the free 30-day trial at audible.com. Welcome to the Dan Kasper Show.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It's the show that features serious, thought-provoking sports talk and insightful sports commentary.
You knew it.
In other words, it's the show where they all talk a crap load about sports.
Let's go for it.
Now let's introduce your host, a man who lives and breathes and has a passion for sports. A man who breaks everything down in the sports world and gives you everything you need to know. Plus a bunch of stuff you probably don't need, but you'll still enjoy it.
You can't handle the truth.
Here is your host, Dan Kasper.
Prime time.
One FM, 790 AM, also available online, sportstalk1051.com. Stream it up over there. You got your app, Google and Alexa home devices. The video stream that is up and rolling on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Happy Tuesday. Maybe it was a long night, like a lot of us last night there, but yeah. What was your thoughts from the game last night? Oh boy, I might have to go on a little bit of a soapbox, but Packers falling 17-13 to the Raiders. 2-3 now on the season, heading into their bye week. Jordan Love, 16 of 30 for 182 yards, no touchdowns, 3 interceptions. A.J. Dillon ran hard. You know what? I got to give him credit. He ran, got some tough yards and such. 20 carries, 76 yards. No Aaron Jones in this game. Christian Watson, 3 catches, 91 yards, 77 of them coming on that one play that he was horse collar tackled on, and the Packers weren't able to punch it in there and had to settle for a field goal. Had a shot at the end, but Jordan's 3rd interception getting picked off in the end zone. So Packers, as we said, dropping their 3rd game of the season here. They pretty much held Devontae in check. 4 catches for 45 yards. Jacoby Myers was the Raiders' leading receiver at 7 catches for 75 yards there. But Jimmy G playing a typical Jimmy G game. 22 of 31. High completion percentage. Just 208 yards. Had a pick and a touchdown there. Packers defense doing a better job at stopping the run, holding Josh Jacobs to just 69 yards and 20 carries for a 3.5 yard per carry average. So, hey, at least they didn't allow him to get going there. But, yeah. You know, the thing that really, I mean, there was a couple different things, but the thing that really disappointed me last night, and maybe not just last night, but so far, you know, we're officially now a quarter of the way through the season. Okay, now that's in the books, we can get our first quarter report cards in, grade it, all that sort of stuff. If I was given a report card to Matty LaFleur right now, the thing that's just kind of bugging me the most is like, what is again this identity? What is the foundation of the offense? And I get not having Aaron Jones is a big, big loss. It hurts. It sucks. And it sounds like Green Bay was, fully preparing to have him available for this game and having him being a focal part of this offense, or at least for this game plan, I should say. And then you find out Saturday he's probably not going to be able to go. So, it takes an element out of your offense. But the thing is with this offense too, you should have been able to scheme around it. And I know they're incredibly young on offense, the youngest team in the NFL, but I don't know. It just seemed very vanilla. It was frustrating. It was confusing. It was inept last night. I mean, oh, so many different things. The offensive line struggled to, slow down Max Crosby. You had Preston's, well, I'll get on the defensive side there in a little bit, but I mean, just the offense. That's the thing that's confusing me and maybe disappointing me the most in these last couple weeks or so. It's just like, what is the foundation? What is the base of this offense right now? And Aaron Jones missing does change a lot of things, but come on, you gotta adapt. You got other guys you could go after. I mean, going into a game and Romeo Doubs has just 4 targets, 1 catch for 4 yards. That can't happen. Jaden Reed, 1 catch, 7 yards on 2 targets. A couple of receivers who, were getting plenty of targets in the first couple weeks there. I don't know. Something just seems really off with this offense. And I don't know. Do you get the sense that they're not? I don't know if this is the right way to put it, but do you get the sense that they're kind of holding some stuff back of the playbook, like just sometimes maybe let it rip in that? But do they fully trust Love? Is there I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain, but just the offense, the inept offense last night just really bugged me. Bugged me. And maybe it was just kind of a boiling point from, the last couple of weeks here. And you look at what were the numbers like first quarter, first half of this offense stinks. I mean, it stinks. Yeah, third quarter, great. They come out and they're outscoring opponents in the third quarter. But a lot of these, they're trying to make these come from behind victories, and I just want this team to start a little faster and put up some points and have that foundation. Again, I know they're incredibly young and they're going to be going through the highs and the lows, and we knew that heading into the season. We knew that heading into the season that there was going to be a lot of growing pains, and you kind of had to set your expectations. And there's going to be some ups and there's going to be some downs. And I know this probably isn't a fair comparison. It probably isn't a fair comparison, but I look at again, I'll look at like the 49ers, okay? And what Kyle Shanahan does. I mean, that's Matt LaFleur's, that's who he learned under. They could take us the literally the last pick in the draft and make him now. We're talking about Brock Purdy as an MVP. And I get it. They got Christian McCaffrey over there, and they've got, Debo Samuel, some veterans, and George Kittle. Hopefully, eventually, that'll be Green Bay's offense in the next couple of years. And I know that's not a great comparison right now, but that's what I want this offense to look like. I want that offense to be able to be multi-dimensional and beat you different ways. And right now, it feels like there's not any flow. There's not any continuity. It's very basic in a lot of stuff. And I don't know. It's frustrating. It's frustrating right now for this offense, at least for me. It was kind of boring last night. Wasn't watching the offense. It's just like, oof. And finally, you get a chunk play of 77 yards, and you can't even get in the touchdown. And to be fair, I know that was the first time this year that the Packers, on offense inside the 10, they didn't score a touchdown. They had in, 10 other possessions, 8, 9 other straight possessions in there, but just kind of a boring offense last night. Just boring. Like he didn't have any confidence in the thing. So it's frustrating. And, I know Matt LaFleur after the game, said last night, we're searching for answers. Well, you know what? You better find the answers pretty darn quick here, man. And I know growing pains. You're going to have the highs. You're going to have the lows. I'm not ready to jump off a cliff and say tear this whole thing down and start firing Matt LaFleur or anything like that. But you got to find that foundation. You got to find what is your basis on offense. And the Aaron or the Jordan Love stuff, and Matt LaFleur mentioned it after the game last night too about he was asked about his interceptions, and obviously the one to the linebacker. I'm really hoping he didn't see the guy because that was right in his breadbasket. But the other ones, LaFleur said, it was a 50-50 play, and he gave his receivers a 50-50 chance to make the catch. Why are we, and I know I might be generalizing this here, but why are we settling on a 50-50 chance? Why aren't we making it easier? Why aren't we asking for, easier throws or more separation? Why are we settling on 50-50? 50-50 opportunities for our receivers. Why aren't we making things a little bit easier? Why aren't we asking for a higher percentage play? Why aren't we asking for higher percentage plays? Why aren't we doing it? I didn't really care for that. And I'm like, okay, yeah, you're giving a guy an opportunity there, but can't we make it easier? Can we do things a little bit easier? And I'm a patient guy, and I'm willing, to go through the ups and downs of this season and the flows and have you, but and I don't think Matt LaFleur should be fired. I don't think, and I know there's people on socials already talking about that, for crying out loud. It's not going to happen. Just get off that horse. It's not happening. But I want to see something with this with this offense at some point this season. Something. Rewind it to what we said at the beginning of the year. We want to get answers. What's some of our goals? What's some of the things we want to see this season? We want to know the answer whether Jordan Love is the guy, whether he's the future. I'd also say I want to know what is this offense going to be, and is Matt LaFleur going to be able to be that play caller, design plays and schemes and all that stuff. So it is a little overreaction Tuesday, overreaction post game day sort of thing, but I don't know. It was frustrating. It was frustrating watching that offense last night. I mean, defensively, hey, they did a better job stopping the run. They didn't allow Jacobs to explode. I mean, there was a couple of boneheaded things like Preston Smith covering 17. And I know a lot of that is based off switches and offense, putting guys in motion and this, that, the other thing. But I mean, I think any one of us listening right now, if we were Jimmy G and we were playing, we were the quarterback and we saw that, we're like, we're not even looking anywhere else, man. We're just gonna throw it to Devontae. Devontae, do a little crossover move at the line of scrimmage, and I'll just get you the ball because it's gonna happen. I mean, there's things that have a way higher percentage of having success, of working than that play, like winning the Powerball or finding Bigfoot or me getting a date with Carrie Underwood. Those have higher probably percentages of actually happening than Preston Smith covering Devontae Adams on a play, for cry eye. And then I think I saw Jair ended up covering the fullback out of that play. I was like, okay, we got to do a little bit better on that one. We could do a little bit better on that. I get, the whole motion and, creating mismatches and that, but come on now. That's bad. That's really bad there. But they didn't let Devontae explode, so I guess there's that too. Making the pick. I don't have issues with the defense that much this morning. I think the defense played well enough. I think they played well enough. Just that offense. Yuck. What is going on? Is it just simply they're young and it's growing pains? Do you think LaFleur's, the game planning and the scheming, is he holding anything back? Is he not trusting Love? Is he not, opening it up? I feel like a lot of times when coaches, and I don't know if this is what LaFleur's doing, but I feel like a lot of times when a play caller, we see it where they're holding the back. Like I felt like, was it 2 years ago when Love started against the Chiefs? It kind of felt like they were holding Love back and not really opening up the playbook and trying to keep things simple for him. But I feel like a lot of times when you get in situations like that, that hurts your offense worse. When you get into the mindset of like, we're trying not to make a mistake, we're not going to make mistakes. We're just going to, go about it this way. I feel like that gets you in deeper trouble that more times than not. I felt like that's what the Jets were kind of doing when Zach Wilson came in with Nathaniel Hackett, really kind of holding him back. And sometimes, you know what? You just got to risk it and go out there and let it ball. Go out there and ball. We'll talk a little bit more about this coming up here in just a few minutes. Other stuff on the docket here this morning. We'll catch up with RJ Cardinal. Oh, by the way, it just was announced that Minnesota adjust your fantasy lineups here. But Justin Jefferson is expected to be placed on the injured reserve, meaning he's going to miss that Packers game coming up on the 29th in Lambeau Field. So he's going to miss at least 4 games. But Tom Pelissero, I'd say just a little bit ago, that Justin Jefferson is going to be placed on injured reserve because of that hamstring injury that he suffered there. So we'll catch up with RJ Cardinal. We'll talk some Badger football, talk all things Badgers. I know it's Big Ten Media Day with some hoops and such. So we'll get some Badger updates with RJ coming up at about 8:20 this morning. A little grind my gears. I'm sure some of you got some grind my gears. I kind of just grinded my gears there, but it is a Tuesday, so it's a grind my gears Tuesday. Get something off your chest if you'd like. Hit us up with a text on that Shoe Doctors bullpen line, 715-830-1912. Twitter at DANKASPER, Facebook.com/Kasper Sports. MLB postseason continuing last night, will continue tonight. But last night, Diamondbacks picking up another win. They haven't lost yet in this postseason. They're 1 win away from advancing to the NLCS. I mean, you look at the last few years, it's like whoever plays the Brewers in the postseason goes on to have a nice deep run in the postseason. So maybe the Brewers are a lucky charm for everybody else out there. But Diamondbacks picking up a 4-2 victory. So 1 win away as their series moves to Arizona. Atlanta completing the comeback last night, picking up a 5-4 victory to even up that series against the Phillies. Tonight, Texas with a win will move on to the ALCS. Twinnies will try to take a 2-1 lead against Houston. Or, maybe Houston can they get to 2-1 lead, but that one's going to be this afternoon. It's about, was it 3:07? First pitch scheduled around there. So we'll see if the Twins can inch a little bit closer to making an ALCS appearance. Also, tonight, the NHL season, the puck drops on the NHL season. Go Kraken. I got my Kraken hat on, baby. I'm ready. Let's go Kraken. But you got, like Chicago's playing tonight too. We got a couple games on the docket here. But if anybody's a diehard NHL fan, hockey fan, and you want to send me some predictions, you can do so on your NHL season here. But you can hit it up with a text or so. But let's get things going here. Let's kind of rip off the Band-Aid and maybe have a little bit of a support group. I don't know. But with the first quarter of the season in the books, a little over halfway there, or a little over a quarter, but just with the bye and such, it works out this way. How would you, if you were a teacher and you're filling out a report card on this team, offense, defense, special teams, individual players, coaches, however you want to go about it, you want to give me some grades, how would you grade this thing? How would you grade from what you are seeing from the Packers so far? 5 games in, 2-3. 2-3. How would you grade this? Are you grading it on a curve because we knew coming in that there was going to be some unknowns, there was going to be some ups and downs? Maybe for some of you, you are grading on a curve. For some, you're like, heck no. We're in the pros, baby. We're professionals. No curves here. High expectations all the time. What do you got for me? Let me know. Start hitting me up with some text. We'll take our first break, and then the lead off to get things going here this morning. We'll be back in just a few minutes.
Got a take on today's topics but can't call in? Then hit us up on Facebook, Twitter, or the text line and let your fingers do the talking.
Winters can get long in Wisconsin. I'll bet by next March you'll be ready to take a break. Well, if you are, come on along. We're going to take a farm tour to Costa Rica and Panama, March 23rd through April 1st. We'll explore tropical treasures of unique wildlife in these two Central American countries. We'll explore Costa Rica first into the agricultural portion of our tour with a visit to the Doca Coffee Estate. And here we'll discover the importance of the coffee bean to Costa Rica's economy. We'll also make stops at the Cano Negro Wildlife Refuge and Arenal Volcano National Park. And we'll go visit the Pacific and the Atlantic Oceans as we sail through the Panama Canal. We'll take in the sights of Panama City, meet local agricultural experts in Panama as well as we find out about all that country's agriculture. Visit holidayvacations.com. The keyword is wax for more information and to watch a travel show, or call 888-557-1020 for a free brochure.
You want to feel important.
You want to be part of something bigger, something that matters and can help change things.
You want to feel like you belong.
We know. We felt that way too. And that's why we did something about it.
We aren't just Army National Guard soldiers.
We are normal people just like you. But our part-time service in the Army National Guard means we get to be more.
When our communities are in need, we get the chance to stand up and do something about it.
We get to serve in our own region and help the people we call neighbors.
From the lake shores of Ohio, Michigan, Wisconsin, and Minnesota,
the fertile fields of Indiana, Illinois, and Iowa, to the wide open plains of North and South Dakota.
We are here for our hometowns.
And together, we can make a difference. Take on your legacy. Visit NationalGuard.com to find out more.
Sponsored by the Wisconsin Army National Guard. Aired by the Wisconsin Broadcasters Association and this station.
We're going abroad for the first time in years. To Spain. So we started using Babbel.
And started learning Spanish fast.
With Babbel, you can start having conversations in another language in just 3 weeks.
¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo te llamas?
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind.
In just 3 weeks, we're starting to have conversations in Spanish. Gracias, Babbel.
Babbel, language for life. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com.
Picture this. You're surrounded by the serene beauty of the great outdoors, waiting patiently for your moment. It's not just a hobby, it's a passion. We're talking hunting. At Tilden Gun, they understand the thrill and excitement that comes with hunting, whether it's for deer, turkey, or duck. That's why they offer a wide range of high-quality firearms, ammunition, and accessories to help you make the most of your hunting experience. Whether you're a beginner or a seasoned hunter, Tilden Gun will help you find the perfect firearm that suits your needs and preferences. But it's not just about the hunt. It's about the memories, the camaraderie, and the bond with nature. Tilden Gun is proud to be a part of your hunting journey, ensuring that you have the tools and equipment you need to make unforgettable memories in the great outdoors. Visit Tilden Gun in store at 12427 90th Avenue in Chippewa Falls or online at tildengun.com to explore their wide selection of firearms, ammunition, scopes, and hunting accessories. Be safe and best of luck in the great outdoors.
Join us and other Brewers fans for a fantastic spring training trip of a lifetime in beautiful Arizona. 6 nights, 3 Brewers games, 2 days of sightseeing, and much, much more. Plan your vacation now. Stay at the Crown Plaza Phoenix Chandler Golf Resort with Uber vouchers for rides between Phoenix airports and the resort. There's a welcome reception, daily breakfasts at the resort, 3 Brewers spring training games, professional guide with motor coach transportation to Sedona and Tucson, hosted by Arizona baseball tour staff. There's a souvenir t-shirt and 1 complimentary bucket of range balls per person at the resort golf course driving range. It will be an exciting, fun-filled excursion with memories for a lifetime for everyone. The Brewers Spring Training Trip to beautiful Arizona. Don't miss it. For more information, get to this station's website and begin your vacation today.
Voice Guy here, bumping into your programming to remind you to subscribe to the Man Cave Podcast. New episodes uploaded daily, and it's available on your favorite podcasting platform. Now back to your regularly scheduled programming.
Athletes, active folks of the Chippewa Valley, when it comes to your health and performance, there's only one name you need to know. That's Chippewa Valley Orthopedics and Sports Medicine. They specialize in getting you back in the game. Their expert team of orthopedic specialists and sports medicine doctors will treat your injuries and provide personalized care. Your comeback story begins at Chippewa Valley Orthopedics and Sports Medicine. Visit cvosm.com to learn more and to schedule your appointment. All right, recapping the game from last night. Here's a few nuggets for you to get you going here. Packers, with this offense, they were going up against playing the number 23 scoring defense. This is from Matt Schneidman, who covers the Packers for The Athletic. Packers are playing the number 23 scoring defense without their two starting defensive backs. And for the longest time in that game, before Christian Watson and such exploded for 77 yards, no wide receiver had a catch over 7 yards at one point. And when you look at the first half, the Packers in the last 3 weeks have scored 6 points. 6 points in their last 3 first halves combined. Week 3 against New Orleans, 0. Week 4 against Detroit, 3. And then with the Raiders, 3. 3. So when it was at halftime, at that point, Packers were going up against already a poor defense, missing 2 starting defensive backs. No wide receiver had a catch over 7 yards. And they scored 3.6 total in the last 3 weeks. Rob Domofsky also had this at halftime. The Packers changed their approach, but the results have not changed. Jordan Love came in averaging a league-high 9.7 yards per attempt. By halftime, he was averaging just 3.7 yards per attempt. Didn't complete a pass of more than 5 air yards in the first half. Now, giving credit to where credit's due here a little bit, Packers have come out into the third quarter and have played better offense. They've scored a touchdown on 4 of their 5 opening second half drives this season. They're outscoring teams 46-11 in the third quarter. A lot of those times, though, they're like how far behind, couple possessions behind and such. They're playing catch-up ball at that point. But yeah, the offense, there's some issues going on. Jair Alexander after the game saying, I think at this point it's pretty obvious that the defense has to not give up any touchdowns. I think that's part of being self-critical of our defense because the offense is pretty young and they're still figuring out their mojo. That was from Jair Alexander after the game last night. So if you were Matt LaFleur and you were heading into your bye week and you're going to hear this phrase probably for the next week or at least a few days here, self-scouting. Self-scouting. You're turning on that tape and you're looking at it. How would you self-scout yourself if you're Matt LaFleur or your offense right now if you are Matt LaFleur? And this was some other numbers here. This is from Jason Wilde, who also covers the Packers. But these are some of the numbers he has about Jordan Love here. Jordan Love, weeks 1 through 2, Chicago and Atlanta. 396 yards, 29 of 52, 6 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, an NFL best quarterback rating, 118.7. Since then, weeks 3 through 5, his completion percentage has actually been pretty much the same, 55%. 687 yards, just 2 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, and a 57.7 QB rating. Overall, Jordan Love so far this season. So to kind of add in, some numbers here, if you were to grade it, if you were to grade this team, this performance, or these players, Jordan Love so far this year, a 55.6% completion percentage, 1,000, a little over 1,000 yards, 1,836, 8 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, a 77.3 QB rating. Excuse me, 1,083 yards. 1,083, just a little over 1,000. Last night, also, just some more numbers to give you a little bit of a background on Jordan Love. Jordan Love on passes thrown over 5 yards at one point last night, 3 of 11. Yeah, 3 of 11 on thrown over 5 yards and 3 interceptions. That was from Warren Sharp. Warren Sharp, the last couple weeks on Jordan Love, passes thrown over 5 yards, 14 of 32, 5 interceptions. For whatever reason, it's that mid-range, that deep ball. Love has just been struggling with it. We know ever since the beginning it was a talking point in training camp. It was a talking point in preseason. The deep ball, the accuracy issues from Love on the deep ball. And now you're seeing some of these numbers, and when it's kind of confusing. Really, it's perplexing, and it comes with the territory, with a younger quarterback, with a young roster. A lot. I mean, we knew, again, I'll keep saying this, we knew this was going to be an up and down, kind of a wave offensive performance this year. At least we should have known this. I expected it. Doesn't make it any less like frustrating and all that sort of stuff. You're looking for some more positives than there are negatives, but you got to ride the wave through this. We knew it heading into this year. It was going to be like this. But we're still fans, and we still want to see our favorite teams performing well. We don't like to see bad performances. We're human, right? We want to see good performances. We want to see solid performances. Don't like seeing bad stuff. But I just think right now this offense doesn't have an identity. And not having Aaron Jones is a big factor into this. Aaron Jones, when you look at his career, for some reason I thought he was older than 28, but I was looking this up yesterday when it was reported that he was going to be probably missing this game. But Aaron Jones, he's 28. He's been in the league since 2017. The last time he has missed 3 or more games, he's already missed 3 games this year, but the last time he has missed 3 games or more, you got to go back to his second year in the league, 2018, when he played in 12 games. So his first 2 years in the league, he played in 12 games. And if you remember, that was kind of when he was dealing with some knee issues, like banged up and such. And then that was kind of a thing when Matt LaFleur came in 2019, maybe kind of preserve it. That, when you look at Aaron Jones and you looked at some of the numbers the last few years, he was a guy that didn't have as many carries as a lot of those other running backs, kind of preserving him a little bit. And there was a lot of talk, would it be, based off the first couple of years, trying to help preserve him with a couple of the injuries that he was having to his knee. But you got to give him credit. I mean, guy has been on the field since, 2019. He has barely missed any games. 2020, played in 14 games there. But 19 played 16, 14, 15, 17 last year. So, he's been in the league for how many years? 7? This is his 7th year. And this is the first time he's missed 3 or more games since his second year back in 2018. We know it. He's the focal part of this offense. He's the guy that has to keep that engine going. And when he's not out there, It changes a lot of things, but and really, too, they don't have another running back like an Aaron Jones on this roster. A.J. Dillon is not an Aaron Jones. He's not a scat back. He's not a quick guy that can beat you on the edge. Doesn't have the speed. You're kind of turning into a more power running game. I had a buddy of mine text me during the game last night. Shout out to some old school Medford football, but he's like, is this did Coach Alberti, and anybody who knows from Medford or around there probably knows Coach Alberti back in the day, but he's like, did Coach Alberti kind of give some like tips or a scouting report for the Packers? It was just like old school running power football. Kind of remind you of some old school high school football out there. Just run. And hey, at least they stuck to it. They were trying to grind them down, trying to wear them down. But the passing game just wasn't there on a consistent level last night. And that to me is the frustrating part. That was the frustrating part. I hope it'll get better. I've got confidence it'll get better. Might not be at any point soon. But I'm looking at LaFleur and I'm looking at this offensive staff and I'm like, how do you put your players in a position to succeed? How do you get your guys prepared and to go out there and to be successful on the field? How do you do that? You got to look at this and like, what can we do to better put our players in a position to succeed? How do we help our players? We know they're young. We know they're inexperienced. How can we make it easier on them a little bit? And last night obviously didn't help. I mean, the offensive line, they Max Crosby. I mean, if you were playing a drinking game last night, I don't know which telecast you guys were all watching or maybe even listening on the radio, but if you were listening to the Buck and Aikman one and you were playing a drinking game every time they said Max Crosby, you're probably feeling it this morning because his name was mentioned how many times, because he was just wreaking havoc across the front, across the defensive line there. And him wreaking havoc obviously didn't help things in trying to establish a little protection for Love and maybe getting some of those plays there. Now, it seemed like Love was sacked probably more than just 2 times like he was last night, but he was under duress a little bit. And that's where you got to give credit to where credit's due. Max Crosby, he was balling last night, and he was creating havoc on the defensive front, giving some issues to that offensive line. Give credit to where credit's due. He affected the game, as Kevin Green would like to say. He affected the game last night. He affected the game plan for the Packers last night. You just hope with this young offense that there's more learning. They'll continue to grow, learn from this, and hopefully eventually be a better football team. It might not be anytime soon this year. Maybe it's more so for next year. And I know a lot of people don't like hearing that. You don't want to necessarily, take away a season or such, but you just hope that these young players are learning from these experiences. You hope maybe this coaching staff too is learning a little bit more about what they've got on this roster, what they've got with these players, and just grow from there. You hope this is a growing opportunity and a learning opportunity. And I think for a lot of us, and I'm guilty of this too. Okay, I'm guilty of this too. We looked at that Chicago game, and we looked at that second half performance from Green Bay, especially on the offensive side, and we're like, oh boy, all right, yeah, mojo got going in them. Maybe we kind of got our expectations up a little bit higher. I was like, oh yeah, here we go. Chicago still sucks. Green Bay's back in, and hey yo, Jordan Love looked good. So we got a little excited. We got maybe we put an extra egg in the basket there a little bit. We got a little excited, and maybe now it's like, oh crap, what's wrong? That's what happened, though. It is what it is. We live and die by each week, by every game, and all that good stuff out there, because that's what fans do. But I hope there's not too many people. I know there's some down there in a deep dark Twitter world that are calling for Matt LaFleur's job and thinking he should be fired during his bye week and that. Just cool the roll there a little bit. It ain't going to happen. Not going to happen. So don't demand that. Don't expect that. It's not going to happen. Don't be disappointed when you find out he's still going to be there coaching against Denver. I understand that's what some fans do and such, but they're not going to fire a coach who's got like around a 700 win percentage. And I know now the narrative is going to change to, well, that was all Aaron Rodgers and such. It's not going to happen this year, okay? It's not even going to happen for next year. Take it to the bank. It's not going to happen. But I do want to see how Matt, we talk about this young offense growing and learning, and I hope LaFleur and the rest of the offensive staff does the same thing. How do you grow? How do you learn? How do you come up with better play designs, better play packages, calling a better game, putting your players in a position to succeed, having better results on the field? All right, we got to take a quick break, and we'll be back to already finish up this first hour after these quick words.
The Dan Kasper Show will be right back.
Hi, this is Josh Smith from Union Trailer and Power Equipment. Have you had your trailer service down the side of the road? Trailer 930-1066. Looking for a new trailer? We have a large selection of utility, dump, cargo, and gooseneck trailers in stock and ready to go from brands such as American Hauler, Big Tex, Minnesota, Mission, and Trophy Trailers. Our sales staff will be glad to assist you in all your trailer needs. Check us out online at uniontrailer.com. Looking to upgrade your mower this year? Now is the time to upgrade, as we have a large selection of Aaron's and Graylee's zero-turn mowers in stock with some great sale prices along with 0% for 48 months or large cash discounts. Get into a new Aaron's zero-turn mower for as little as $92 a month with no money down. Don't forget about our free delivery within 20 miles of Union Trailer and Power Equipment, located right in the Chippewa Valley.
Quality products and expert service. Union Trailer Sales.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
At Staples, you can count on every project being print perfect, guaranteed.
I need invitations and posters printed, and they have to be perfect.
I need beautifully bound booklets and presentations for my business.
Your invitations and booklets will be in captivating color and will be done right every time. That's Staples Print Big Promise. And right now at Staples, get $50 off your print purchase of $150 or more. Try Staples and see the difference. Ends 10/14. Exclusions apply. See associate or visit staples.com/print for details.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Hungry for the best cuts in town? Look no further than Mike's Star Market in Eau Claire. At Mike's Star Market, they take pride in offering you the juiciest steaks, the tastiest brats, and a wide selection of other meats for you to choose from. Whether you're grilling, roasting, or just craving something delicious, Mike's Star Market has something for everyone's taste buds. Now that we've made you hungry listening to this commercial, it's time to visit Mike's Star Market. They're located on the west side of Eau Claire at 2238 Hempstead Road.
Today's job market is full of demand for skilled trade workers. Electricians, welders, mechanics, these and other trades are the backbone of every community. They're also a huge part in making sure the Army National Guard is always fulfilling its mission of service to our country and communities. Soldiers train to keep the power flowing, engines running, and supplies moving. The skilled trades these soldiers perform are the same ones needed in today's civilian workforce. Army National Guard soldiers are on the fast track to learning skills that can set them up for success at home with companies looking to hire the best. With options from plumber to helicopter mechanic and everything in between, soldiers are able to select the trades that best fit their lives. Their resumes are being built through their paid training and part-time service. Find out how you too can learn a trade profession and serve your community and country by visiting NationalGuard.com. Sponsored by the Wisconsin Army National Guard, aired by the Wisconsin Broadcasters Association and this station.
He doesn't just talk sports, he knows sports. In fact, he and sports are best friends. I saw the two of them last night knocking back a couple of cold ones. The Dan Kasper Show, weekday mornings from 6 to 9.
Are you ready to discover a hidden treasure trove of home improvement wonders while giving back to your community? Look no further than Valley Habitat for Humanity Restore. At the Restore, you'll find an ever-changing selection of quality furniture, appliances, building materials, so much more, all at unbeatable prices. But here's the best part. Every purchase you make at the Restore supports their mission to build affordable homes for families in need right here in the Chippewa Valley. It's shopping with a purpose, making your house a home while making dreams come true for others. So whether you're looking for a stylish new piece for your living room or tackling a DIY project, make the Restore your first stop. Chippewa Valley Habitat for Humanity Restore, where every item tells a story and every purchase builds a brighter future. All right, so what do we got here? 8 minutes, 9 minutes to the top of the hour this morning. So, let's go. What do we got here? C-Bum. Rodgers won 8 games with his team last year. 8. We aren't winning the Super Bowl. We need to see incremental improvements. Joe Barry should be fired. That's it. It should have happened this time last year. Let's hope to see improvements and win 9 games. You think Joe Barry should be fired after last night there, C-Bomb, or just in general? All right. We'll get back to some more green and gold chat coming up here in just a little bit. I was looking at some other nuggets and got some grades coming in here too. Eric saying I'll give this team a C right now, about average, because that's I think how we're seeing them perform so far this year, average at best. I tried to decipher there. It looks like a little talk to text there. So if I missed that, follow up through there, Eric. We got a Steve saying I'm going to give them a D plus right now. Very up and down, slightly below average. We got Ben saying I'll go C plus here, grading on a little bit of a curve, but there's nothing that's been too exciting, nothing that's been too awful, so I'll go C plus. We've got Greg. He's also going with a C minus for the Packers, Greg, or for the Packers grade there. Drew, he's going with D. Very up and down performance from the offense overall. Defense has had some good moments and some bad moments. Don't know how to fully grade the defense yet because their good performances have come against suspect offenses now. Another one here. This is from Adam. I'm going with C plus, but it's based on a curve. If I wasn't basing it on a curve, it would probably go around a D plus for the Packers here. So, all right, continue to send your grades in. With the first quarter of the season kind of officially in the books now for the Pack, you grading on a curve? If you're not grading on a curve, what do you got? All right, hit us up with a text on that Shoe Doctors bullpen line, 715-830-1912. I think I'm probably going with, I'll go on a slight curve. I'm not going to go with a big time curve on there, but I was thinking about this last night because you can't go to sleep right after the game. So you're up for a while. So I'm probably on like 2 hours of sleep right here. Probably at and this might be a little hard, but D plus C minus range. That's probably where I'm at. It's not a failing grade. You're passing, but you're 2 and 3. Average. I know the math doesn't work out. It'd be like 500. So I'm at like a D plus C minus range. But if it's a curve, it's probably like if we go with the old school grading system, like 70% to 70% was a C minus, 70, 79 was a C range. But if I'm going with a curve, it's maybe like 70, 71. But it's like I don't. Nah, D plus C minus, somewhere around that 68 to 72 range. If we're going based off of like a typical percentage grading scale sort of thing there. So, Aaron, this is a really bad football team with glaring problems right now, and I feel like the problems are not easily assigned to the youth of this team. Matt LaFleur has a lot of explaining to do because how many of us are raising our eyebrows towards Love and this inept offense. That's from Aaron on the Shoe Doctors bullpen line this morning. We'll get back to some more of your comments, so keep those coming, or on Twitter, Facebook, video stream, whatever floats your boat, whatever's easier over there. Coming up next hour, we'll get back to some more Green and Gold chats. Plus, we got some Badgers chat, football getting ready for Iowa this weekend. RJ Cardinal will break it down for us coming up at about 8:20. Also, Big Ten Hoops Media Days going on or coming up here too for the Badgers. So get ready for that. Also, we had the hockey season. Mike Hastings beginning the new era for the men's hockey team with win number 300 in his career. We'll finish up this first hour with Morgan. Good morning, Morgan.
I know you're a diehard on a 1 to 5 star scale for tired. How tired are you after pulling it all the way to the end?
1.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It's slow go today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't shut it off after a game.
No, I figured.
Yeah.
And I know you stay up for the late ones. You're that guy. So we're going to take it easy on you today.
Guy, that means I'm doing my job.
I know. You're that guy who's doing his job. I'm going to start to see how well you do your job here. This is sports related. Stop me when you know the answer. What do all these states have in common? Montana, North Dakota, South Dakota, Idaho, Alaska, Hawaii, Wyoming, New Mexico, Nebraska, Iowa. Are you awake?
Yeah, I'm just thinking.
Arkansas, Mississippi, Alabama.
There's no NFL team?
Right.
Okay.
And
okay.
South Carolina, Virginia, West Virginia, Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine, Connecticut, Rhode Island, Delaware, Kentucky. And of course, now, as we saw last night, the Raiders making the move to Las Vegas and playing there. Mm-hmm. So of the states, if you could pick a state to give an NFL team to, gift them an NFL team, who do you think really deserves a team? Who do you think would be really good to rally around? What's got a good fan base just waiting fire off? Like, what state without an NFL team would you gift one to if you were like the NFL Santa? You got a whole bag of them. You're just going to go.
I don't know how many fans would get there, but I think it'd be really cool just for a scenic purpose to have one in Montana and have the mountains in the background.
The Big Sky?
Yeah.
You could call them the Big Sky.
Yeah.
That'd be a good team name.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And Montana's beautiful the way it is.
Yeah.
Now what state then on the opposite end, what do you think has been like on the naughty list, does not deserve an NFL team, should never get one, won't ever get one? Who are you feeling like should not?
Who shouldn't? Well, Minnesota probably shouldn't because they don't have anything over there.
Oh, you're gonna take it away and give it to them.
Yeah.
Take from one kid's stocking and shove it in the other.
Exactly.
You guys don't know how to play with this. You can't have it. It's my toy.
I don't know. That's a tough one.
Well, because you think of the southern states, and like obviously when you're in Bama and stuff like that, it's Roll Tide, and they got more of a college thing. So it's
maybe
not
like Arkansas. Is anything in there in Arkansas or Nebraska?
Yeah.
There's nothing there. So
Well, they got the Huskers again. That's a
that
college
still
thing,
does.
so
That's
it's
nothing.
like it's college
They
focused.
stink. So
But don't you think Midwest rallies around their teams more? Because I mean, you look at the Pats, and that pretty much is all of New England. So you take all the small states, shove them together, and of course, yeah, you have your stray New York Giants and Jets fans and stuff hanging out there too. But for the most part, they swoop up the whole East Coast. So if you think about states that are larger, deserve more of a chance to rally around a team,
right.
there you go.
Yeah. No, not Iowa. No.
You're going to stick with Montana because
Yeah.
Montana doesn't even really have the college end of
They
things.
got
to contend with.
nothing.
They got nothing.
At least Wyoming has college a little bit. So
Yeah. Well, Montana has scenery.
Yeah.
They have hunting. My brother-in-law's headed out there this week to go
nice.
do some hunting too. So
Lucky duck.
But I do think the Montana Big Sky, there's a case to be made. And we're taken away from Minnesota.
Yeah.
You guys don't know how to use this. You
Yes.
can't have it anymore.
Yep, exactly.
All
I like
right.
it.
I think we solved the problem.
Perfect.
Okay.
Let's change the team name there too. So we don't need Vikings in Minnesota.
No. Okay. Well, now you can caffeinate yourself and try to get through the
I might
rest of
need
the
my
day.
4th cup.
Aren't those Monday night games rough, man?
Monday night, Sunday night, Thursday night.
Yeah, we need noontime Sunday.
Yep.
That's the kick. Hey, when you own a new NFL team, you can make the schedule all straight away. Just there's you
Yeah.
go. Noon kick only.
Well, you know what? They stink. So next year they'll probably have a lot of noon games. So
To me, that's better.
Yeah.
When you get the schedule and the schedule drops and you start going through to see when the kicks are, I like those noon kicks way better.
I
so
do too.
That works for me.
Thanks,
There's an
Morgs.
upside to sucking.
WAYY Eau Claire, W286CK Eau Claire, Sports Talk 105.1 and 790 AM. From the 715 Newsroom, it's Morgan McCarthy with your news on Sports Talk 105.1.
Well, good morning. Here's what we're learning today. We'll start locally and head to the bench. A judge in Eau Claire has given a local murder suspect 2 days to come back to our state. Shane Helmbrecht has been missing since he walked away from the halfway house in Toma, but authorities in New Mexico detained him last week, then letting him go because his disappearance was a civil matter, not a criminal one. Update here, the judge yesterday said if Helmbrecht does not return to Wisconsin, there will likely be a warrant out for his arrest. Helmbrecht was accused of murdering his neighbor in 2016, but found not competent enough to stand trial. He was ordered to stay at a state mental health facility, but had been transferred to a halfway house earlier this year. In other headlines, we look to a different part of the state, and that includes a violent Monday in Milwaukee. 4 people shot in just over 2 hours. In all, Milwaukee police say 5 people were shot yesterday, and 1 of them died. In headlines that take us to Lafayette County, a child, the victim of a buggy accident there. As we look a little bit closer, the Lafayette County Sheriff's Office says 2 parents and 4 children were riding in an Amish buggy when a pickup truck ran into it from behind. They say several family members were thrown from the buggy and got serious injuries. 1 child died at the scene. The driver of the truck was not hurt. As we look to the political stage, still no speaker, but the U.S. House may elect one this week. We'll look at the Wisconsin connection with Jim Jordan of Ohio and Steve Scalise of Louisiana, the only announced candidates. It's Wisconsin's 2nd District Congressman Mark Pocan that says Democrats' expectations are low.
We're kind of have come around to accept that this is a caucus run by the extremist elements. Marjorie Taylor Greene is a spokesperson by intent. And as long as that continues, it really doesn't matter what person you put there. They're going to continue to be ineffective in government.
Showing you different sides so you can decide. We go across the aisle with Wisconsin's 7th District Republican Tom Tiffany saying,
I think we will coalesce because I think as a conference, we understand it's not a good look last week. And we have to show that we can work for the American people. And I believe that we can do that.
The House cannot act on legislation until a new speaker is elected. Well, something to put on the fridge? We'll see. We'll get our latest check as to how well kiddos in public schools are doing in reading, writing, and math as the State Department of Public Instruction will release student assessment results today. Now, these are going to be scores from last spring's standardized tests in elementary, middle, and high school. And if you stayed up to watch the game, then I certainly don't have to remind you of that. You'll hit all the details there with Kasper. So why don't you and I talk about 10-10 Day? That's today. And if you like the metric system, maybe time to celebrate.
On 10-10 Day, we celebrate the metric system. Created in 1586 by Simon Stephen, it's all about the power of 10. There are only 3 countries who don't use it: Liberia, Myanmar, and the U.S. It's all about the imperial system with pounds, miles, and yards. The U.S. tried to make the switch in 1975 with the Metric Conversion Act. It didn't take. I'm Bree Tennis, NBC News Radio.
You remember yesterday when I was all positive and giving Kasper all kinds of love, thought I'd shake it up a little bit? Yeah.
It didn't take.
For Sports Talk 105.1, I'm Morgan McCarthy.
Most of us starting off the morning in the 30s and 40s, and this will give way to some cloud cover, mostly north of I-94, as temperatures climb to the low to mid 50s later on this afternoon. Areas by I-90 likely seeing a bit more sunshine. Otherwise, tonight, a few more clouds hang around, but those will clear out and give way to more intervals of clouds and sun for tomorrow, with highs returning to the upper 50s. I'm 13 First Alert meteorologist Mike D'Andrea.
Good morning. It's time for some farm news on Sports Talk 105.1. August exports of U.S. pork were steady compared to last year with the help of big sales in Mexico. Pork shipments totaled over 226,000 metric tons in August. Mexico led all purchasers in August. For the first 8 months of 2023, pork exports were 1.9 million metric tons. That's 11% above last year's pace. August beef exports were down compared to last year. That's 19% lower to 109,000 metric tons. Beef exports to Mexico and Central America did grow in August, but exports to South Korea and Japan were well below last year. For the first 8 months of this year, beef exports were just over 881,000 metric tons. That's 12% below last year's pace. For the first 8 months of this year, beef exports were just over 881,000 metric tons. That's 12% below last year's pace. Last week, the U.S. House of Representatives voted overwhelmingly against an amendment to the Agriculture Appropriations Bill that would have ended the commodity checkoff programs. Checkoff dollars overseen by the USDA and managed by designated producer boards help expand markets, increase demand, and develop new uses for commodities. And according to USDA data, for every $1 a farmer pays into a checkoff, as much as $18 is returned to farmers through product research and increased markets. Wisconsin is still the big cheese. Our cheesemakers produced over 300 million pounds of cheese in August, almost 8 million pounds more than July. Wisconsin led the nation in production of cheddar cheese with 57.5 million pounds. Wisconsin cheesemakers also led the nation in Italian cheese production with just over 143 million pounds produced. And that's a look at our farm news on Sports Talk 105.1. I'm Jill Welke.
Get ready to save half with half-off deals. It's a great way for you to get goods and services that you will love, and you don't have to pay full price. Start saving this Friday, October 13th, with the VFW Post 305 on Star Avenue. Be ready with your credit or debit card and get ready to save with this week's half-off deals. For more details and to find out about all the savings, just go to aroundthe715.com.
Crank it up.
Hey, are you ready today? Tee it up. He's on his way. He's our man. The man, the myth, the legend. That's Dan.
And now, the Dan Kasper Show.
Second hour kicking off on this Monday morning of October 10th. Hopefully you're all off to a fantastic start, a better start than what Packers offense has been able to do in these last few weeks. Coming up, we'll get back to some more green and gold chats. We also got some Badger chats. Badgers taking on Iowa this weekend for football. Hockey season's beginning. We got Big Ten Media Days. Greg Gard is the first one to talk. He's actually going to be talking at Big Ten Media Days while RJ Cardinal, our Badger analyst, will be joining us here. So I doubt anything big will probably happen or anything like that. But we're getting closer to the tip-off for this Badger basketball season. So we'll get to RJ coming up in a little over an hour from now. It is a Grind My Gears Tuesday, which happens to fall on a day after Packers loss on prime time. So, well, get what's off your chest here. Let us know. We've got G-Man's going with the B. Packers will win against Denver. Their next game. Offense needs number 33 in the game. Love could have run for that first down and got out of bounds. Then we would have ran another play to win the game. Posters up at the Court House. I saw that, G-Man. I heard you ran into the boss and Joey D yesterday. Awesome. Good stuff. Dennis, the problem I see with Love, until he has a deep ball, everyone will stack the box, and LaFleur seems to have watered down the offense. For the, I think that's supposed to say young guys, team goes with Aaron Jones, not Love. Dave, AJ and Love naked run is needed to keep the defense on its heels. We need a big dose of G-Man optimism. It'll get better. We've got what else? Did I catch up on some of the stuff? I think we caught up on some of the stuff here. I think there was something on the video stream, but it's being a pain in the butt. James saying, I thought the defense played pretty good last night. Offense, C, failure to adjust. Coverages at the line and missed blocks worries me. Defense, C+, they're better than what we're saying they are. Coaching, D, there's a lot of confusion on the field. The inability for the offense to adjust to coverages points to one of two things. Either players that can't identify coverages or coaches aren't prepping the team properly to identify the coverages. So a lot of coverages in that one there too. We got Don saying C- after watching the 49ers the other night. Packers are a long ways away. All right, let's do some sports nuggets of the day, brought to you by Yancey Associates. The billiard ball was patented by John Wesley Hyatt on this day in 1865. Let's go. 1964, NBC aired the opening ceremonies of the 1964 Summer Olympics in Tokyo. It was the first live color TV program to be transmitted to the United States by satellite. Joe Namath in 1977 played his last game of his National Football career. Mark Messier in 1979 made his NHL debut with the Edmonton Oilers. Tom McLean finished rowing across the Atlantic Ocean to set the record at 54 days and 18 hours. I was reading a story the other day about somebody swimming. Was it the English channel or some channel, like days upon days of just swimming and swimming? Like, credit to all of you who could do that, like rowing and all that for just constant days without like taking an 8-hour nap or anything like that. I can't even imagine putting your body through that and the mental strain putting through that. Just wow. Let's go. Doug Jarvis, 1987, ended his streak of 984 straight games in the NHL. Nelson Cruz, 2011, hit the first ever postseason walk-off grand slam to give the Rangers a 7-3 win. Win gave the Rangers a 2-0 lead in the ALCS over the Detroit Tigers. Those are just some of your sports nuggets of the day. Again, brought to you by Yancey Associates. Speaking of baseball, can the Twins take a 2-1 lead? We'll find out this afternoon. Got a little afternoon baseball action in Minnesota as the Twins and Astros will be battling it out. Pivotal. We'll call this a pivotal game 3 here. And then we got, pivotal and where's the other word we like to use? Not pivotal, not must win. Crucial game 3 here with Baltimore and Texas because, well, Baltimore loses tonight, they're done in the postseason, and Texas could be moving on to the ALCS, where they will await the winner between Houston and Minnesota. The NLDS last night, Arizona, 1 win away from advancing to the NLCS. They put up a 4-2 victory over the Dodgers last night. Dodgers in a big-time hole. Atlanta with a comeback last night to even up their series against the Philadelphia Phillies, a 5-4 win for Atlanta yesterday. So kind of got some entertaining playoff series going on here. Dodgers might be out. Baltimore might be out. Philly and Atlanta. Been a tight matchup here. We'll see how the Twinnies do against Houston this afternoon. But got some good baseball still going on here too. NHL dropping the puck tonight. G-Man, our Kraken. Let's get Kraken going at the defending champs. I got my Kraken hat on this morning, watching the video. Got my Seattle Kraken hat on here. But the Kraken will be going up against the defending champs, the Golden Knights. Just 3 games on the docket. Nashville, Tampa Bay, Chicago versus Pittsburgh, and then Seattle and Vegas. Got more games in action tomorrow night there too. But then really gets into action a couple days from now. But if anybody wants to send me your NHL predictions, your picks, if we got any diehard hockey fans out there and you want to send me those picks, hit me up with a text or tweet or Facebook or anything like that. October's the best month of the year, man. Bucks are going to be in action tonight too. Second preseason game going up against Memphis. So we got that going on here as well. So, a lot of good stuff going on. A lot of good stuff. Got more grades to get to here. A lot of you sending your grades here because it is the end of the first quarter of the season, so it's time to play a little teacher. If you always wanted, if you're not a teacher and you always wanted to grade somebody or grade something, now is your time. All right, now is your time. We got Adam. We got another Adam through here. He's going with a D for his overall grade. Nothing after that. Just says D. This is Adam. Okay, Adam. You're going with a D overall. Mike. He's going with a D- for the offense and a D for the defense and a C for the for special teams. Although A for Anders says A for the kicker. So Anders Carlson. I will say, first quarter of the season, Anders Carlson, dude, he's surpassed my expectations so far. I hope he continues. I know kickers kind of can go in waves too. They might go through a little bit of a rough stretch and such. I mean, Anders' brother missed a couple last night that kept Green Bay alive. But for all the chit-chat, even after he was drafted, and then in the preseason and training camp, I was a little worried. A lot of you were worried about the kicking situation. Green Bay hasn't lost any games because of a rookie kicker. They haven't lost any games because of him. That guy, he's been a nice bright spot so far. Hopefully it continues. He's only 5 games into his career, but hopefully that continues. But you're right, Anders Carlson. Not bad. Not bad at all. We got another couple more grades to go here. David is given overall a D, breaking it down by teams here. He's given the defense a D+, an offense a D, and special teams a C-. So I guess that averages out to the overall D grade over there. G-Man, I got my Kraken hat on, my Kraken jersey. My daughter gave me 116 jerseys now. Man alive, G-Man. Not a boy. Got more grades coming in here. We got another Mike, it looks like, chiming in saying, this is Mike. I give the overall team a C-, a little bit of a curve because of how young they are, the youngest team in the National Football League. But definitely been some ups and downs so far this season. All right, so it looks like a majority of you so far have been going with around C-, D, somewhere on there, D+, D-. Definitely no B's. Not even, did we even have a C+ at this point? I'm not sure if we even had a C+ grade over there. But definitely nothing any higher than a C right now. And I would agree with that. I would agree with that. I mean, if we really wanted to break it down to individual players and coaches or something like that, maybe we'll find some B performances on there. We just mentioned one, Anders. Maybe we'd find some other ones over there, but yeah, overall, I wouldn't give it a whole lot over there. Josh really going at it. Offense F, defense F, special teams B. So what does that average out to? D? There we go. I think that averages out to a D over there. But all right, let's take a quick break and we'll talk some more green and gold with Joe. Then plus we've got Grind My Gears Tuesday. What's grinding your gears? Get it off your chest. Come on, Surveyor. We're waiting on you. You're kind of the lead off there when it comes to grinding my gears. What do you got? Let us know. We'll take a quick break and be back after these quick words.
You're listening to the Dan Kasper Show.
Life can be a real pain, but you know what? It doesn't have to be. That is if you visit Shepke Chiropractic. At Shepke Chiropractic, they're dedicated to helping you achieve a pain-free, healthy life. Dr. Logan understands that each person is unique and will tailor their care to meet your specific needs. Shepke Chiropractic's goal is to work with each patient to achieve their goals and perform to their fullest potential in the capacity that their life requires. They have assessment and a ask you two simple questions. Are you tired of living with pain and discomfort? Are you ready to take control of your health and health? Don't let pain hold you back any longer. Make your appointment with Shepke Chiropractic at one of their 2 locations today. Just visit ShepkeChiropractic.com to learn more and to book your appointment. Your journey to a healthier and more fulfilling life starts here at Shepke Chiropractic. Make your appointment today at ShepkeChiropractic.com.
Join us and other Brewers fans for a fantastic spring training trip of a lifetime in beautiful Arizona. 6 nights, 3 Brewers games, 2 days of sightseeing, and much, much more. Plan your vacation now. Stay at the Crown Plaza Phoenix Chandler Golf Resort with Uber vouchers for rides between Phoenix airports and the resort. There's a welcome reception, daily breakfasts at the resort, 3 Brewers spring training games, professional guide with motor coach transportation to Sedona and Tucson, hosted by Arizona baseball tour staff. There's a souvenir t-shirt and 1 complimentary bucket of range balls per person at the resort golf course driving range. It will be an exciting, fun-filled excursion with memories for a lifetime for everyone. The Brewer Spring Training Trip to beautiful Arizona. Don't miss it. For more information, get to this station's website and begin your vacation today.
Keep your feet warm and dry this winter with the Shoe Doctor in Eau Claire. Only the Shoe Doctor has over 4,500 styles of footwear and personalized fitting for everyone in your family. It's backed by the Shoe Doctor's exclusive 30-day comfort guarantee, so you know you'll walk away happy. The selection, brands, sizes, widths, service, and prices that fit just right. Come see for yourself at the Shoe Doctor. Easy to find. 2321 Claremont near Fairfax in Eau Claire.
The VFW Post 305 on Star Avenue in Eau Claire, where breakfast is served 7 days a week, 7 a.m. to 11 a.m. And if you're looking for a Friday fish fry, look no further. Try the VFW Post 305 on Star Avenue. After the Friday fish fry, stay for karaoke from 9 to 1 a.m. Bands are back on the weekends at the VFW at 8 o'clock until midnight, and Sundays from 2:30 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. the DJ plays your favorite oldies hits. Come check out their newly renovated kitchen. VFW Post 305 on Star Avenue in Eau Claire, where no one does more for veterans and their community.
You want to feel important.
You want to be part of something bigger, something that matters and can help change things.
You want to feel like you belong.
We know. We felt that way too. And that's why we did something about it.
We aren't just Army Guard soldiers.
We are normal people just like you. But our part-time service in the Army National Guard means we get to be more.
When our communities are in need, we get the chance to stand up and do something about it.
We get to serve in our own region and help the people we call neighbors.
From the lake shores of Ohio, Michigan, Wisconsin, and Minnesota.
The fertile fields of Indiana, Illinois, and Iowa to the wide open plains of North and South Dakota.
We are here for our hometowns.
And together, we can make a difference. Take on your legacy. Visit NationalGuard.com to find out more.
Sponsored by the Wisconsin Army National Guard, aired by the Wisconsin Broadcasters Association and this station.
We're going abroad for the first time in years, to Spain. So we started using Babbel.
And started learning Spanish fast.
With Babbel, you can start having conversations in another language in just 3 weeks.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind.
In just 3 weeks, we're starting to have conversations in Spanish. Gracias, Babbel.
Babbel, language for life. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com.
Some call his show life-altering. Your personal takeaway may differ somewhat. The Dan Kasper Show, weekday mornings from 6 to 9.
Wake up and smell the aroma of perfection that is cabin coffee. Start the day right with our handcrafted, locally roasted coffee beans brewed to perfection just for you. From classic Americanos to flavorful lattes and refreshing iced coffees, Cabin Coffee has your caffeine cravings covered. They're passionate about serving you the freshest, most delicious brews. And if you're in need for a bite to eat for breakfast or lunch, hey man, they got you covered with a menu full of your favorite breakfast items and delicious sandwiches. So swing on over to River Prairie and Altoona and experience the taste of coziness and comfort with Cabin Coffee in Altoona. Recapping the game from last night, recapping the first quarter of the regular season here. We got more grades to get to from you all over there, but you can hit us up with some texts or tweets if you want to get your grades in here. Joseph DeGuano joining us here for a little bit this morning. Where do you want to leave things off, man? I mean, we got a whole lot. How much time do you got? Maybe is probably the best question to ask.
Yeah, this is going to be one of those therapy sessions for Packer fans right now because there really is no question in my mind on paper that the Green Bay Packers were the better team last night, and it just seemed to me that for 2 straight weeks now, the Detroit game and this game, Matt LaFleur, from a scheming standpoint, really is trying to find an identity for this offense. He comes out throwing the ball the first 6 plays against Detroit. Last night, he tries to establish the running game. Obviously, I think they were game planning for Aaron Jones being a part of that. But, you know, the life of a coach, no matter the level, is adapting.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just not adapting right now. And I don't think Matt LaFleur is doing Jordan Love any favor. Look, Jordan Love is going through what we all expected. That's the growing phase. But I don't think Matt LaFleur is doing him any favors right now. I don't think he's putting him in a position to be successful. When you look at some of the route patterns and some of the routes that they're going through, it's, you know, let's go deep or let's get the check down. And, you know, where are the crossers? Where are those things that create space that we've talked about year over year over year since Matt LaFleur came here? You're just not seeing them right now. So, you know, right now, last night's loss, I put it, yes, players need to execute, but Matt LaFleur is doing his players no favors right now.
Mm-hmm. You must have been reading my mind in the first hour, man. I don't know, but that's kind of like a lot of the same stuff I say. And one of the things too, like last night, you know, I know Matt LaFleur mentioned in his post game, he was talking about receptions, and you know, first one was right to the guy, but then he's like, you know, he gave 50-50 balls to his receivers to make some plays. But my question to that is like, why are we settling on 50-50? Why can't we make it a little bit easier on our receivers? You know, it's just that kind of comment bugged me a little bit from Matt LaFleur last night.
No doubt. And you know, everyone wants to compare Jordan Love's first year as a starter to Aaron Rodgers' first year as a starter. And I think the biggest difference between what Jordan Love is working with and what Aaron Rodgers has is you look at the receiving core. And the receiving core that Aaron Rodgers was working with was a much more veteran group, and this is just not a veteran group. You're going to expect mistakes, but I just think it comes down to Matt LaFleur putting Jordan Love in the best position possible, and right now he's not doing it. And really, truly, it hasn't happened in really any of the games this year except for the Bear game, and I'll include the Saint game in there, even though the Packers came back to win that game. It really, when you break it down, you know, that was a hurry-up situation, and tempo and pacing and that type of thing. And so, you know, the questions need to come. Was Matt LaFleur's success more Matt LaFleur over the last several years, or was it Aaron Rodgers? And I think that's, you know, look, that's what every coach who deals with a Hall of Fame quarterback has to go through. who makes who? Does the coach make the quarterback or vice versa? But, the bottom line is Matt LaFleur was hired because he's one of those quarterback gurus, quarterback whisperers. And right now, he ain't whispering sweet nothings, that's for sure, because he's just whispering nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And it just it's scratching my head at the game plan offensively. And look, you flip it to the other side of the ball. Joe Barry, I thought the defense played well last night, but considering they're playing the Raiders, this team was having a lot of problems scoring. And so, yes, Joe Barry's defense did well, but there were some head-scratching moments. I mean, Preston Smith lined up on Devontae Adams. It really right now, this is a dysfunctional team. You've got 2 weeks in the bye. Green Bay Packer fans, I hope you realized there were going to be ups and downs this year. And right now, this team is in a downward spiral, and Jordan Love specifically, and it's up to Matt LaFleur to fix it.
I know this isn't a fair comparison, but, I was watching this game and something, I mentioned the last few weeks, but, I look at the 49ers and I look at like Kyle Shanahan. I mean, that's who Matt LaFleur grew up under and learned, from. And I'm like, and I know it's not a fair comparison, but I'm just like, they took literally the last pick in the draft, Joseph, and now he's top. Brock Purdy's like an MVP candidate, for crying out loud. Shanahan makes things easy for that offense. He puts guys in position to succeed. Why can't we have that? Like that's what I was hoping, to see from LaFleur. And I know it's still early, 5 games in, and everybody's, young and all that sort of stuff. But that to me is like what I want to see. And that's what really bugged me most, I think, from last night. It just looked like a blah, plain, boring, inept offense last night.
Yeah, no question. And look, Shanahan and Purdy have some pretty talented veterans that they can lean on that offensive side of the ball. And so I think from that standpoint, I think there are some significant differences between the two teams. But yeah, I'm totally with you that it's a head scratcher. And everyone talked about how Matt LaFleur was so innovative and so good and et cetera, et cetera. I'm not seeing it right now.
Yeah.
And again, how much was LaFleur? How much was the success previously? Was it Matt LaFleur? Was it Aaron Rodgers? And right now, you're kind of saying maybe LaFleur had a hall pass because he did have a transformational talent like Aaron Rodgers. He's got his work cut out for him, and he's got 2 weeks to fix this thing. And he's got winnable games coming up. And again, the question I have is, what is the identity of this Packer offense? Because right now their identity is they don't have one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they don't have that base, that foundation, to build on. When that's supposed to be something, I think this was resurfaced a couple weeks ago. Matt LaFleur was even talking about a couple weeks ago. We got to find that foundation, that base of your offense. I think he was an offensive coordinator with the Rams talking about this at this point. And I don't think Green Bay has that. Green Bay doesn't have that right now. And I totally agree with you. Yeah, the Aaron Jones is probably that base, but if he's not there, you got to adapt, man. You got to come out and be prepared for any situation like that. How many times do we hear coaches and players talking about being prepared for the unknown and next man up sort of mentality?
Yeah, and the Packers don't have that. And the other thing I question, quite truthfully, is the mental toughness of Matt LaFleur. And I go back to the Jets game last year and Robert Saleh's comments about the fact that, we're going to let them swim in the deep end for a while and see if they can get out. And the Packers never did against the Jets last year. And, I think other coaches are maybe kind of finding the chink in the armor in Matt LaFleur, that maybe he doesn't have a mentally tough team and mentally tough locker room. And, that's one of those things when I went back to that and I look at Robert Saleh's quote, that was telling to me. And Robert Saleh obviously knows Matt LaFleur better than most. And he basically said, we're going to let him swim around in the deep end and knowing full well that he can't get out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And so there are certain coaches. And again, Matt LaFleur might turn this season around and, and get Green Bay on a nice roll and get Jordan Love pointed in the right direction. But right now it's not. And so, the quarter of the season that we have right now, it doesn't look like he's able to build a winning offense without a transformational quarterback. Now, again, like I said, I don't want to jump to any conclusions. It's just like the way Jordan Love started off the season. Nobody thought he was going to go 37-8 or something crazy like that as far as touchdown to interceptions. But also nobody thought that he'd start having games where 0 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. And you look at the laundry list of quarterbacks that have had that. You know, the last one to have that was Brett Favre, and that was early in his career in the mid-90s. And so a lot of question marks right now, more question marks than answers. They've got a 2-week bye to figure this thing out and find a real identity on offense. And that needs to be regardless of who's out there. And right now, I think that's just on Matt LaFleur's shoulders. And look, as this season goes on, if this downward spiral continues, you're going to see what kind of coach Matt LaFleur really is, because can he keep this thing afloat?
Max Crosby, if you were watching the Joe Buck and Troy Aikman telecast and you were playing a drinking game every time they mentioned his name, you're probably feeling it this morning, the little hangover there. But he was definitely wreaking some havoc on that offensive line. How would you assess the performance from the tackles the last couple of weeks here for the Packers?
Inconsistent. I think that whole offensive line is inconsistent right now. And again, I kind of go back to Matt LaFleur on this, that I just don't think he's doing any favors right now as far as the play calling. When you got Josiah DeGuara and another tight end chipping on Max Crosby, a lot of times that ain't going to get it done. And so, when you're scheming around guys like that, you've got to get an offense and you've got to get a game plan to account for them. And I think Max Crosby, one of the better defensive players in the NFL. And I think obviously Hutchinson, the same thing. And it again, I think you've got a young offensive line. You've got some moving parts there. You got healthy again on the offensive line, but it didn't seem to fix it. And so that again goes back to coaching and scheme. And you got to say, how can they scheme guys open and put together a better game plan to account for those kind of guys? So, again, I'm trying to talk myself and Packer fans off the ledge, but it did not look good.
Mm-hmm.
You understand Detroit right now looking like one of the better teams in the NFL. You maybe understand that. You give them a hall pass. But you look at this Raider team, that's not a good team.
Mm-hmm.
And to play like they did last night against that, I'd say there's much more to be worried about than to be positive about right now if you're a Packer fan.
Do you get a feeling, do you get a sense at all from what you're watching? Is LaFleur holding back Love or not opening up the playbook as much? Do you get that sense at all, or you just think nothing's really working at this point?
I think Matt LaFleur is searching for answers. I don't think it has anything to do with holding back any part of the playbook. I think he's searching for answers. And look, a lot of times they say when you've got a change at a position like quarterback that it's going to take a coach half the season to figure out what kind of football he has. And right now we're a quarter through the season with a bye coming up. And so we'll have to see what this next quarter of the season brings for the Green Bay Packers and what Matt LaFleur does in these next 3 or 4 games. Does he make the adjustments? I don't think he's holding back at all. I think he literally is looking for answers and doesn't know them right now.
Jair Alexander even said after the game last night, defense, we have to not give up any touchdowns, pretty much. And he said, until the offense finds its mojo right now. But I mean, it's not just us seeing this. It's guys on the team, including Jair Alexander, knowing this too until they find that mojo. So I'm like you, I'm not trying to panic or too much or jump off the ledge. It was just, I don't know, man. I had a buddy of mine text me during the game last night, and you'll appreciate this as a high school football coach. He's like, did somebody call Coach Alberti, who was our football coach back in the day, and ask him for advice? Because all he did was run the football, like power 34 every single time. People who didn't even play football knew what that play was out there. So it felt very vanilla and boring and just like a snooze fest, really, last night.
Yeah, look, I put this one squarely on the coaching staff.
Yeah.
And this season right now, you're going to find out what kind of coach Matt LaFleur really is coming out of this bye and into this next stretch. Because if this team recovers and they put together some nice games. Now, again, the record might not indicate what's really happening, but if they put together some solid, consistent games offensively, then you're saying, okay, he's found the identity and he's able to work through this. If they continue to struggle, there's going to be big question marks in this organization as this season comes to a close.
I wanna give some love to maybe one of the MVPs for this year, Joseph. Can we give it up for Anders Carlson for being perfect, for all the talk about in the preseason training camp? And I was one of them. That I was scared, you know what? But we could say he's perfect, and he hasn't lost a game yet for the Packers. Knock on wood. We know kickers are going to go up and down, but kudos to the rookie, huh? Kicker. That's our positive stuff.
I'm going to give it up to the rookie, and I'm going to end it up on a positive note that I got to tell you, it's always a good day when you run into G-Man out and about in Eau Claire. And I had the pleasure of doing that yesterday. Love him. He's just a genuine soul and a good guy. And I tell you what, regardless of what happens on the field, it's people like that make your day. So that's what I'm sticking with. Anders Carlson and G-Man. There you go, man.
Yeah, no doubt about it. All right, what are you going to do during the bye week? Try to mentally relax from this thing? Checking out a little bit? You going to self-scout yourself?
What? We got a high school football game Friday night that my focus is squarely on right now. It is Eau Claire Memorial against that team to the west. And, we got some seniors that are some great kids that I want to finish this year strong for them. So my bye week isn't really a bye week. My bye week's going to be focused on sending some really, really, really cool kids off with a win this Friday night against that team to the west.
Can't believe it's already the final week of the regular season. It just flew on by, it feels like, this year.
Man. Oh, no doubt, man. No doubt. But, I'm standing outside right now. My hands are chilled, and it is definitely getting into the meat of the fall and winter season, which I don't mind at all. And again, whether you're coaching it, playing it, or watching it, this is the time of year where I think football gets fun.
Mm-hmm. All right, Joe. Appreciate the time as always, buddy. We'll catch up with you again next week. Okay, sir?
All right, brother. Take care, man.
You got it. There you go. There's Joe DeGuano joining us. Ooh, potted down the wrong one. Joining us here this morning. We got to take a quick break. We'll finish up the second hour in just a few words. Man, Hudson and I have been spending a lot of time in the man cave. Not just because, but it's the floors, the job, the remodel job that our good friends from Carpet City Flooring Center did in that space. Tile, carpet, a brand new room. Still tinkering around with the decorations. That's how I go about doing stuff there. But Hudson, I think, is actually now spending more time down there than I have been. I think he's kind of taken over the man cave down there. But hey, if you're in the game looking to upgrade your flooring game, whether it's new carpet and tile for bedroom, bathroom, office, workplace, whatever it may be, your own man cave, go visit our good friends from Carpet City Flooring Center right here in Eau Claire, Wisconsin's premier flooring store. They're going to work with you all the way from the beginning to the end. Fantastic people, just an awesome group of people, the entire staff over there at Carpet City Flooring Center. So I can't recommend them enough. I love everybody over there. They're so easy to work with. They'll help you select the design that works the best in your home. Find the flooring that works within your budget as well. So you're looking to upgrade your flooring game, it's got to be Carpet City Flooring Center in Eau Claire. Nowhere else. Nowhere else. You can also check out their website, carpetcitywi.com. Find the floor that maybe that kind of stands out to you. Maybe that would work good in your man cave. So, all right, we got what? When were we at here? About 12 minutes to the top of the hour here. We're going to get to some Badger chat coming up next hour with Mr. RJ Cardinal, Badger Media Day for some hoops. We got Badger football taking on Iowa, hockey season beginning, the new Mike Hastings era. So lots to catch up on with RJ. Coming up at about 8:20 this morning. Got a couple more grades to get to here. This was some messages on Facebook here. We got Carl sending a message saying that I give this a C overall for the Packers. I think so, a couple typos in there, but I think that's okay. Yeah, C overall for the Packers there. We got Jason saying I will give overall a C minus, about a D plus for Jordan Love. If I'm giving an individual grade, been very up and down. Set the bar, I think, really high, and maybe we kind of drank the Kool-Aid a little too much in week 1 against the Bears with Jordan Love. Still has time to kind of show us if he can be the long-term starter. Okay. Keep yours coming here. Hit us up with either a text on the Shoe Doctors bullpen line, 715-830-1912, or Facebook, Twitter, and the video stream. A couple different ways over there. Devontae Adams, though, obviously a lot of talk leading into that game. Post game and such. He said afterwards about beating the Packers, it was good. I wish I could have been able to send them off with a few more plays made, but at the end of the day, we beat them. Now nobody can make up this crazy narrative and talk about how I shouldn't have left and all of this stuff that was getting ready to come if we didn't win. So glad to get that win over them today. We just want to beat everybody. So probably saw a lot, at least online and social media. A lot of his former teammates, current players, coming up and talking with Devontae, hugging it out. LaFleur a couple times over there too. So a lot of still respect between the two. What would you expect? Anything less? No, not at all. Not at all. All right. We got baseball playoffs continuing tonight. Can the Twins get that W? Brewers fans, are you cheering for the Twins? Brewers fans, you just kind of checked out from the baseball playoffs right now? Are you rolling with the Diamondbacks because the Diamondbacks ousted you? Going for a little bit of the underdog there? I mean, for crying out loud, how many years now in a row has it been whoever's beaten the Brewers in the postseason, they've gone on to have deep runs in the postseason? Brewers are like these like good luck charms for other teams in the National League, it seems like. Jeez Louise. But Twinnies will be back in action 3:07 tonight, and then we'll see if Texas can knock out Baltimore later on tonight and move on and await the winner between the Twins and the Astros for that series. We know there's going to be at least one more game between the Astros and the Twins after today's game, since that one is all tied up at 1 apiece. Bucks are also going to be back in action tonight. If you want a little preseason hoops action, they're visiting the Memphis Grizzlies right now. As we get, where are we at here? I need a Buck schedule up here in the studio because it has a calendar on there too. We're about 16 days away. Yeah, today's the 10th, openers. So 16 days away, almost 2 weeks away from the opening tip for that Bucks season. For Wisconsin fans, maybe that's where some of the focus is starting to turn because, well, that might be the team with the best shot to make a deep postseason run and maybe win another championship at this point. You know what I mean? Know what I mean? So we got a few more grades to get to here. A lot of people putting on their best teacher's cap here this morning and sending us their grades. We got Sam, not Surveyor Sam, another Sam it looks like. This is Sam. I'm giving the Packers an overall grade of a D-. Coaching has been suspect at best. Offense has been incredibly inconsistent. Defense has also been up and down. A lot more poor play than positive play. That's why I am rolling with a D-. We've got Dave with a C+. Dave saying C+ for the Packers. Lowest grade I'm probably given is the coaching staff here. I think this team has talent. It's just not coming together all at the same time here. Another grade. This one's coming from, well, I don't have a name on this one. I'm giving the Packers a C- right now. Coaching is probably about a C+. Offense, C. Defense, C-. Okay. Drew with the text that just came in. Drew from Eau Claire. I grew up cheering for the Twins because my dad's cousin was on the coaching staff for 12 years. Since they aren't really rivals to the Brewers anymore, I'll gladly cheer for them to get a World Series win. On the NL side, I'm totally okay with the Diamondbacks making it since I'd rather it be them over the Dodgers. Drew from Eau Claire. When it comes to baseball, maybe like Brewers fans, you're going for the like smaller market, lower payroll teams at that point. So, like Diamondbacks, National League, it's just Diamondbacks, and then you got 3 high spending teams left with the Dodgers, Braves, and Phillies. American League, you've got Baltimore still in it. Texas spent a lot. Houston's up there too. So that's kind of who I cheer for, I guess, a little bit. Just a skosh, really. But I still love, even with Brewers out of it, I still really enjoy watching playoff baseball. October baseball. It's on. I'm watching it. Last night had a couple TVs rolling, watching both of them there, watching the game, and then, watching a little baseball on there too. Even if my team's on there, I still really enjoy watching playoff baseball. There's some really good story or some really good games, good matchups. You just feel, I don't know, it feels different. And maybe I could be completely making this up, but I almost feel like a different type of energy coming through watching a playoff game. And maybe it's because the crowds are actually, stadiums are actually filled up and such, but I don't know. It just, there's a different feeling. And I really like watching, I really enjoy watching playoff baseball. So got another texter here saying too, definitely rolling with the Twins. Definitely rolling with the Twins now that the Brewers are out of it. I don't view them as a main rival to the Brewers. C-Bomb, I'm cheering hard for the Twins now. When I was a kid, I loved Kirby Puckett and Dan Gladden, and with the Brewers being in the NL for most of my fandom, I've cheered for the Twins to be good. That, and my brother is a diehard Twins fan, so I'm hopeful for him. Going to the opposite here, Justin is saying, I'm not going for the Twins. I can't cheer for anything from Minnesota. I'm a diehard Wisconsin sports fan. They won a World Series back in the early 90s. they can wait a little bit longer. All right. Okay. Hey, whatever way you want to go, man. Whatever. Oh, that's kind of like for me, like for hockey, NHL starting tonight too. I got my Kraken hat on. I'm ready to go. Let's go Kraken. I can't cheer for the Wild. I don't know why. I just like it because I was looking for a team to root for or to hitch my wagon with. And I was like, I can't do a Minnesota one over there. Sorry. So I'll go Kraken. They were new. Love the name. Going with the Kraken. This is Brett. What grinds my gears is every single Packers fan that immediately downplays Jordan Love. Everybody hates him when he plays poorly, but when he starts picking it up, you're going to see all those haters switch sides. It's the way I don't know what OS means. It's how it goes. I understand, but man, it is frustrating. That's grinding gears from Brett this morning. Okay, we only got a couple minutes to the top here. Keep those grind my gears coming. We'll get to a few more past the top of the hour before we get to RJ Cardinal. We got a lot of Badger stuff to go through here. We got football with Iowa. We've got Big Ten Media Days for hoops. We're getting close to tip off. Hockey season's underway too. Volleyball still going on for the Badgers. So plenty of Badger stuff to get to here with RJ. He's going to be coming up at 8:20 this morning. So we'll get to him. Also, we'll get back to some more grades, a couple more grades coming in here for the green and gold. Now that we're about a quarter of the way, I know it's a little bit more, but math doesn't work out. It just works out with the bye week coming up here. We're asking for your grades. A lot of you sending some grades. I would say the average is probably around a C-, D+, D+ here for you. That's where a lot of you are kind of growing. If I'm going based off an average right now, I will allow you to do a little bit of a curve if you want. Some of you kind of gone with a curve because it is a younger team, but that's up to you. It's kind of open-ended at this point. Kind of open-ended. A couple of you said that you have graded on a curve. Others, I don't. I'm assuming you're not. So, all right. What do we got? Okay, I can't really. Just a reminder to update your fantasy lineups. It is Tuesday. We got a game coming up here, but the news that Justin Jefferson is going to be on injured reserve. He's going to be placed on injured reserve. So he's going to miss at least four games, which includes Minnesota coming to Green Bay on October 29th. So Green Bay, Jair won't have to deal with Justin Jefferson over there. Kevin Seifert saying it's a significant hamstring injury and there's no guarantee he is back in 4 games. So Packers not the only team dealing with hamstring issues right now. Not the only team out there dealing with it. But also don't forget to get your picks in. Got a game just in a couple days here for our Pro Football Pick'em Challenge up at our website, sportstalk1051.com. Click on that win tab over there. Get your picks in. I got to do the same thing yet. I did not have a good week here, so I think I fell down a couple spots at this point. But looking at the leaderboard, Tony right now, sole possession of first place. Brandon's dropped down big time here, man. But Tony, first place, 54. Jason's right behind him at 53. Jared, 52. Then we got a group of you sitting there at 51. All right, 2 in. We got 1 more to go. We'll be back after these quick news updates.
.715 Newsroom. It's Morgan McCarthy with your news on Sports Talk 105.1.
Well, good morning. Here's what we're learning today. We'll start locally and head to the bench. A judge in Eau Claire has given a local murder suspect 2 days to come back to our state. Shane Helbrecht has been missing since he walked away from the halfway house in Toma, but authorities in New Mexico detained him last week, then letting him go because his disappearance was a civil matter, not a criminal one. Update here, the judge yesterday said if Helbrecht does not return to Wisconsin, there will likely be a warrant out for his arrest. arrest. Helmbrecht was accused of murdering his neighbor in 2016, but found not competent enough to stand trial. He was ordered to stay at a state mental health facility, but had been transferred to a halfway house earlier this year. In other headlines, we look to a different part of the state, and that includes a violent Monday in Milwaukee. 4 people shot in just over 2 hours. In all, Milwaukee police say 5 people were shot yesterday, and one of them died. In headlines that take us to Lafayette County, a child, the victim of a buggy accident there. As we look a little bit closer, the Lafayette County Sheriff's Office says 2 parents and 4 children were riding in an Amish buggy when a pickup truck ran into it from behind. They say several family members were thrown from the buggy and got serious injuries. One child died at the scene. The driver of the truck was not hurt. As we look to the political stage, still no speaker, but the U.S. House may elect one this week. We'll look at the Wisconsin connection with Jim Jordan of Ohio and Steve Scalise of Louisiana, the only announced candidates. It's Wisconsin's 2nd District Congressman Mark Pocan that says Democrats' expectations are low.
We're kind of have come around to accept that this is a caucus run by the extremist elements. Marjorie Taylor Greene is a spokesperson by intent. And as long as that continues, it really doesn't matter what person you put there. They're going to continue to be ineffective in government.
Showing you different sides so you can decide. We go across the aisle with Wisconsin's 7th District Republican Tom Tiffany saying,
I think we will coalesce because I think as a conference, we understand it's not a good look last week. And we have to show that we can work for the American people. And I believe that we can do that.
The House cannot act on legislation until a new speaker is elected. Well, something to put on the fridge? We'll see. We'll get our latest check as to how well kiddos in public schools are doing in reading, writing, and math as the State Department of Public Instruction will release student assessment results today. Now, these are going to be scores from last spring's standardized tests in elementary, middle, and high school. And if you stayed up to watch the game, then I certainly don't have to remind you of that. You'll hit all the details there with Kasper. So why don't you and I talk about 10-10 Day? That's today. And if you like the metric system, maybe time to celebrate.
On 10-10 Day, we celebrate the metric system. Created in 1586 by Simon Stevin, it's all about the power of 10. There are only 3 countries who don't use it: Liberia, Myanmar, and the U.S. It's all about the imperial system with pounds, miles, and yards. The U.S. tried to make the switch in 1975 with the Metric Conversion Act. It didn't take. I'm Bree Tennis, NBC News Radio.
You remember yesterday when I was all positive and giving Kasper all kinds of love, thought I'd shake it up a little bit? Yeah.
It didn't take.
For Sports Talk 105.1, I'm Morgan McCarthy.
Most of us starting off the morning in the 30s and 40s, and this will give way to some cloud cover, mostly north of I-94 as temperatures climb to the low to mid 50s later on this afternoon. Areas by I-90 likely seeing a bit more sunshine. Otherwise tonight, a few more clouds hang around, but those will clear out and give way to more intervals of clouds and sun for tomorrow, with highs returning to the upper 50s. I'm 13 First Alert meteorologist Mike D'Andrea.
The Angie's List you know and trust is now Angie, and we're so much more than just a list. We still connect you with top local pros and show you ratings and reviews, but now we also let you compare upfront prices on hundreds of projects and book a service instantly. We can even handle the rest of your project from start to finish. So remember, Angie's List is now Angie, and we're here to get your job done right. Get started at Angie.com. That's ANGI, or download the app today.
If you need to hire, you need Indeed, because Indeed's all-in-one hiring solution helps you attract, interview, and hire candidates all from one place. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Let me ask you something. Did you name your firstborn after a football player?
Hell yeah.
Did you spend your honeymoon going to a football game?
Oh, you betcha, yeah.
Do you spend most of your free time hanging out in your man cave?
Yes!
If you answered yes to all the above, then you, my friend, are a serious sports fan just like Dan.
Yes!
This is exactly where you belong. Sports talking and BSing is what we do best.
What? Did we just become best friends? Yep.
So rise and grind, people, because the Dan Kasper Show is on the air.
You serious, Clark?
Right now.
Showtime!
start this morning. Appreciate you tuning in wherever, however you may be tuning in from. We're going to get to some Badger chat coming up in about 10, 15 minutes or so. RJ Cardinal, Zona Madison. Plenty to get to here to recap and look at when it comes to the Badgers. We got baseball playoffs continuing tonight. Twins this afternoon going up against the Astros trying to go up 2-1. Texas going to try to sweep the series against Baltimore tonight. NHL season, puck drops tonight too. If any diehard hockey fans, NHL fans out there want to give me some season predictions, go ahead and do so. Hit me up with a text on the Shoe Doctors bullpen line, 715-830-1912. So we've been doing some grades here for the Packers' first quarter of the season. It is a grind my gears, which I got another one coming up here from looks like Dave. A lot of Daves this morning. I had a teacher that used to call me Dave all the time because they couldn't remember my name, Dan. But I want you, because we've been a lot of low grades here. Let's be real here. D, C minus, whatever. Maybe some of you are happy with season schools. I was in certain subjects, I'll be honest. Give me one, just one. I'm asking for one. Give me one nice thing you have to say. Reel it, and try to keep the sarcasm away. It's easy to have the sarcasm, but give me one positive, one nice thing to say from about the Packers in the first 5 weeks. Player, unit, coach, whatever. Okay, like take Anders Carlson. I already said Anders Carlson. You can't use Anders Carlson, so I'm taking that one off the board. I already called it on there, but I feel like that'll be like a sarcastic pick for some out there. Give me one positive, one nice thing to say about Green Bay. G-Man, you don't count because you're full of optimism. You're full of optimism right now, man. So think about it. If you have anything, one nice thing, one positive thing, because we've been all kind of down and a little bit negative about green and gold here this morning. Dave with his grind my gears Tuesday. What grinds my gears is myself. I get so amped up watching these games, watching my Packers. I get so worked up. I live and breathe with this team, and then when they fall flat on their face, it bugs the heck out of me, and I get down, and I do it week in and week out. I get down, and then I get back up, and then I get down, and then I get back up. It's taking a toll on me, Kasper. Why do I continue to do this to myself? Well, Dave, it's because you're a fan. It's because you're a sports fan. You're a sports fan, and that's what we do to ourselves. We go up, we go down, we live and breathe with every single snap or every single pitch or every single shot. It's what we do, man. It's what we do. It's why we love it, and it's why we hate sports. We love the gray moments. We agonize in the poor and the defeat, but it keeps us coming back. It's an addiction. And for some, it's probably an unhealthy addiction. C-bomb. That's why we love it. You're not the only one, man. You're not the only one. Hang in there. That's sports, baby. That's sports, baby. All right, you're good, Dave. You're good. We're all there. We all do it. Some take it a little bit too hard. Everybody probably knows somebody in their life that takes a little too serious, takes a little too hard, ruins their day, ruins their week. But it's okay. It's okay. Just keep it in check. Take a couple deep breaths and move on to the next day, right? So, a couple more grades here. No names attached, so I'll just say it. Going with a C minus. Another one going with a C plus for your overall grades for the Packers in the first quarter of the season. All right. I'll buy that. Bucks are in action tonight as their preseason continues. Second game of the of the preseason for the Milwaukee Bucks. They're traveling to Memphis. We'll see how everything kind of, who plays out, and I don't know if Giannis is going to get any playing time or not. But Malik Beasley kind of maybe got a hint from Coach Adrian Griffin the other day that he's the leader in the clubhouse to be the other starter for this team. I know that's kind of like up in the air. Is it going to be Pat? Is it going to be Beasley? Is it going to be Crowder? Could they go a little bit bigger, putting him in there? But if you want to kind of maybe read between the lines or the tea leaves here a little bit, Adrian Griffin kind of made some, talking about who could be that other starter. Maybe it is Malik Beasley. Could be Malik Beasley. Look out for him. I know a lot of people just assumed it was maybe going to be Pat Connaughton to be that starter, and maybe it's still up in the air at this point. But or maybe could it be Marjan Beauchamp? Marjan Beauchamp got some starts last year. Could he squeak in there? Possibly. Maybe. But I think it's kind of still up in the air. Griffin had this to say about Malik Beasley. First, he was playing hard on defense. We talked about this prior to this game. This was after the preseason game. And his role going forward into the season, what he's going to have to take the toughest assignments most nights with his three-point shooting capabilities. I think he showcased tonight why he complements our roster. It will be fun to see him out there spacing the floor when we get Dame and Giannis back and see how teams play those guys. You got to be a threat out there. Every guy that's on the floor, you got to be a threat, and he gives us some three-point shooting and some spacing. When Griffin was asked this from Eric Name from The Athletic, when asked about the Bucks' potential fifth starter at the start of the week, Adrian Griffin told reporters that the competition was open, and he wanted that spot in the starting lineup to be earned during the preseason. So there you have it. And then you can get the Bucks that'll be visiting the Lakers. Got only just a few preseason. What do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 more preseason games. That's it. Just 4. And, NFL, they got 3. Basketball, they got 5. 5 preseason games. But did they cut that down? I feel like there was a whole lot more way back in the day, maybe. But you got the Lakers Sunday. Then they've got the Thunder next week. Memphis again next, is that next Friday? Yeah, that's next Friday. And then they open up 2.5 weeks, the 26th. So a couple more grades coming through here. A lot of you sending in some grades here. I like it. Keep it coming. We've got, who's this? John. Yeah, John here. I'm going to go with a C- for the Packers grade. Pete also with the text saying I'm going to go with a C for the Packers in the first quarter of the season. A lot of inconsistencies. Nothing too bad as of yet, although I would say it's trending downward at this point. A lot of you got some stuff to say about this. Why not? Last night, the best way I don't know. The offense was bugging me. It was just bugging me, and I don't know if I can really put my finger on it all. We threw out a bunch of different things. It was just blah. It was inept. It was frustrating all across the board. Offensive line was struggling. Jordan Love was struggling. Drop balls. A.J. Dillon was running really hard. I mean, you can tell there wasn't a lot of space for him, but I'll give that man credit. He was trying to bust some things open. It was just yuck. And I'm usually kind of a patient person when it comes to coaching and stuff, but I want to see something different going forward. And I know it's going to be up and down. I got to have that in my mind. I said it before the season, and I got to stick with it. It's hard, though, because we are fans, and we love our sports. We love our team, so it's hard not to get on the roller coaster of emotions at times. But it was just like, yuck. It was kind of boring last night, watching that offense at times. Kind of boring. I miss the days remember when we never punted, it seemed like? Oh, those were fun. All right, tell you what, let's take a quick break because we got a lot of Badger stuff to catch up on. It's Iowa week. Badgers taking on Iowa, going up against a former quarterback that was with the Badgers. We'll talk to RJ about that. Big Ten Media Day. Greg Gard's going to be talking in less than 15 minutes. So hoop season's getting close. Hockey season's officially underway. Volleyball's still going on. So it's a busy time down in Madison. RJ will be with us to break it all down. Coming up in just a little bit.
The Dan Kasper Show will be right back.
Who doesn't love cooking up a good burger on the grill? Having a good burger is one of the most satisfying moments in your life. And now we have the perfect burger to put on the grill and create more satisfying moments in your life. It's the Dan Good Burger, available only at Hy-Vee in Eau Claire. This burger has bacon, cheese, and ranch seasoning all inside the patty to give you that perfect balance of taste and awesomeness in each bite. So head on over to Hy-Vee in Eau Claire and grab yourself a few Dan Good Burgers and fire up that grill. Life can be a real pain, but you know what? It doesn't have to be. That is, if you visit Shepke Chiropractic. At Shepke Chiropractic, they're dedicated to helping you achieve a pain-free, healthy life. Dr. Logan understands that each person is unique and will tailor their care to meet your specific needs. Shepke Chiropractic's goal is to work with each patient to achieve their goals and perform to their fullest potential in the capacity that their life requires. They offer in-depth assessment and a thorough, caring approach to correcting your body, mind, and soul. So let me ask you two simple questions. Are you tired of living with pain and discomfort? Are you ready to take control of your health and well-being? Don't let pain hold you back any longer. Make your appointment with Shepke Chiropractic at one of their 2 locations today. Just visit ShepkeChiropractic.com to learn more and to book your appointment. Your journey to a healthier and more fulfilling life starts here at Shepke Chiropractic. Make your appointment today at ShepkeChiropractic.com.
What happens when a legend leaves at the top of his game to pursue his own path? In sports, it leads to amazing moments. In whiskey, it can create remarkable results. Brian Nation is one such whiskey legend, a master distiller. And he left a storied career in Ireland, bringing innovation to the spirits category here in the United States. His first whiskey, Keeper's Heart, is an absolute masterpiece. Keeper's Heart, the world's first Irish and American whiskey, blending those two distinct distilling styles into one celebrated spirit. It's so good, in fact, their 10-year-old whiskey was recently named World's Best Irish Whiskey by the Tasting Alliance. Based on the awards it continues to bring home, it's unlike anything the world has ever tasted before in the best possible way. Keeper's Heart brings the boldness of American whiskey and the smoothness of Irish whiskey to create a new experience worthy of the record books. Enjoy responsibly. Football season means tailgates and enjoying the games with family and friends. King's Hawaiian reminds you can turn any football Sunday into a slider Sunday. Whether it's the original rolls, slider bun, or salty pretzel slider buns, King's Hawaiian rolls, delicious, customizable, and built to enjoy with friends and family. King's Hawaiian Slider Sunday, the only way to do Sunday. Go to the bakery or deli section of your local store and pick up those sweet, fluffy, irresistible King's Hawaiian rolls, and of course, enjoy.
It's time for the fall haul at Northern Tool and Equipment. Get your hands on tough tools at prices that are tough to ignore. Got plans? Cancel them. Trucks in the shop? Borrow someone else's. Don't like saving money? Right. So head to the fall haul at Northern Tool. Stock up at the season's biggest event and get huge savings on brands like Milwaukee, Honda, and Ingersoll Rand. Shop at northerntool.com. We're made for this.
My part-time service in the Army National Guard makes it possible for me to be more for the community I call home. My training helps me at work when I lead by example. The Army National Guard has taught me the value of showing respect to those I come in contact with each day. My service also allows me to be there for my community in ways others can't. I help my hometown recover after nature strikes. My service in the Army National Guard allows me to keep my country and those I care about safe from threats. I also work with a network of professionals that help me succeed and accomplish the mission. Plus, the Army National Guard education benefits make getting a higher education a reality. Being an Army National Guard soldier makes living and serving in my community more rewarding every day. Learn how you too can live and serve part-time, close to home by visiting nationalguard.com.
Sponsored by the Wisconsin Army National Guard, aired by the Wisconsin Broadcasters Association and this station.
Because you have high standards and won't settle for anything less, like your wife did. It's the Dan Kasper Show.
Here's here because, well, we got a lot of stuff going on with the Badgers. Got Big Ten Media Days. Greg Gard's set to speak here in just a little bit. Hoop season's getting close to being underway. Hockey's underway. Mike Hastings picking up his first win as a Badgers, 300th of his career. Volleyball, of course, Iowa week here. So let's break it all down with Mr. RJ Cardinal with us here this morning. So lots to get to here, RJ. Let's lead it off with Badger football. Looking back at that win against Rutgers, and I don't know if it was kind of the same for you guys down there, if the talk is kind of the same, but, you know, at Monday, yesterday, a lot of Badger fans, at least with our program, still would have liked to maybe have seen a more convincing win over there. What was your thoughts? What was your reaction from watching the game and just kind of assessing it afterwards?
Yeah, that's kind of the feeling here too. You know, you looked at Mordecai in the passing game. It was a little more, left a little more to be desired when you're completing under 60% of your passes, and for passing for 145. Granted, no interceptions there. Threw for a touchdown. Your running game. And, you know, Rutgers is a decent rushing defense. Running game looked like it struggled more than it actually did. You got Braylon Allen over 100 yards. Took a little to get there, but he got there, something Blake Corum didn't do against the Rutgers defense. And then your rushing defense held Rutgers to 64 total rushing yards, and your leading rusher was the quarterback. So it's one of those, I think, had Rutgers even had a more competent quarterback, you might have seen an even closer game than what we saw in 13-24. But you know, 0 first half points for that defense. You, like I said, under 100 yards rushing, you held Rutgers to, and, you know, passing wise, they did okay. There were still some of those chunk plays that we've seen this defense give up, and I think that's just something we might have to get used to. That this is a team who can be playing as all get up, and then there'll be a breakdown somewhere due to the coverage that was called. But overall, a win's a win. They don't ask how, they ask how many. And all you can do right now is stack up those wins and put yourself in a position to hopefully be ranked again here at some point. Saw they're technically like 29th if you want to go by the also receiving votes in the AP. Not as well liked in the coaching community and the coaching poll with the receiving votes, but yeah, still a lot to be desired from this football team. I don't think we've seen a complete game yet.
So now we got Iowa coming to town here, RJ, and they've got a new quarterback who spent a little bit of time with the Badgers back in the day, Deacon Hill. Shaky start last week for him with Iowa. Is it as simple as when preparing for Iowa defensively, just load up and stop the run and make Deacon Hill beat you at this point?
I would think that's your game plan right now. And Caleb Johnson was back. I believe he was hurt the last game, but still, that was a game where we had a little bit easier of a time with Purdue than Iowa did. When you go 6 for 21 for 110 yards, a touchdown and an interception.
RJ Cardinal, our Badger analyst, joining us here this morning. I think we lost. I think we lost RJ now. We'll try to get RJ back here in a second, but I think we just lost him. I heard a little bit of something in my headphones here, so we'll try to get RJ back here in just a second and get to some maybe some hoops talk and some hockey talk as well, and then. Get back to some Badger football talk here as Badgers get set to face Iowa coming up this Saturday. Deacon Hill, former Badger quarterback, spent a little bit of time with the Badgers back in the day, so I'm sure he's probably going to be a little amped up for this game and to get ready for this game coming up here. So, but we'll get RJ's thoughts on that coming up here in just a little bit. We should hear from Greg Gard any minute now as we get closer to the tip-off for the Badger men's basketball season. Greg Gard at the Big Ten Media Days coming up here. So he's first to talk to the media. So let's get back to Mr. RJ Cardinal. Lost you there for a second, RJ, but welcome back, sir. Well, you sound good now, man. You sound good. So so I wanted to ask you too, do you think with this game against Iowa, because you look at the standings with the Big Ten West, and I know we got more games to be played, but does this game, in your opinion, decide who's going to win the Big Ten West? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. RJ Cardinal joining us here this morning. We'll get back to some more football talk here in just a second. But, hockey, Mike Hastings, the Hastings era beginning, right? 300th win, first win as a Badger team. What are the expectations down in Madison for his first season and for this current team? Are they fairly high, or is there some leeway knowing this is his first year with the program? Although he's got a lot of success too. So are the expectations high for this team in year one? Mm-hmm.
than limiting themselves. But it was good to see. I think, judging by the crowds, whether it be the odd Saturday, Sunday series, Sunday at least was very sparsely attended, and part of that could be due to the expectations of, I've seen what you did the past few seasons. I don't necessarily have to do that. Part of it could be it is a Sunday, people just aren't going to go, but it'll be interesting to see moving forward because now you go on the road until Michigan comes to town in a month. So it'll be interesting to see. You leave town 2-0, and this weekend you go play Bemidji State, North Dakota. Then you travel to Houghton, Michigan to play Michigan Tech. Then you are right into conference play and you go play Minnesota at the end of the month here up in the Twin Cities. So it'll be interesting to see where you come out in the next 6 games. But it was a good start to the season, getting the sweep, no matter who the team is. But yeah, it's one of those. Get us to a winning record at least, because quite frankly, watching hockey in the past few seasons has been a tough sell for a lot of people.
Speaking of expectations and such, I know Greg Gard is speaking right now at Big Ten Media Days as we're about a month away from the college basketball season tipping off here. Was it last week when Bo Ryan was checking out practice? He made a comment that this team's going to be really good. I saw Greg Gard this morning kind of said the same thing, reiterates, this is according to Jeff Petrikis, reiterates he feels UW will be very good. Retention and addition of talent being some of the reasons there. RJ, if the Badger Hoops team doesn't maybe perform that well this year, do you think that seat for Greg Gard gets lit, knowing some of the moves in the coaching circles that Chris McIntosh has made in the last couple of years? Is Greg Gard a little bit under the microscope this year, or is that more, you think, from a fan perspective, that maybe Greg Gard is a little bit more under the microscope?
That's a tough one to answer because, I mean, you saw a clear drop off from the football program.
Mm-hmm.
You can even kind of tell by the body language of Paul Chryst, like on the sidelines last year. It seemed he was burnt out or didn't want to do it. It just that's me personally. I haven't talked to anybody, but the body language of him on the sideline looked like a defeated man. Whether he lost the locker room or whether he just lost his passion for being a head coach. Because I've seen some pictures of him down in Texas. He looks like he's having a good time, and out and about good time.
Yeah.
He's got a smile on his face again. And we've talked about it before. I think as a coordinator, he'll still be good in college football. I'm not sure in this day and age of what it takes to be the face and like a CEO as a head coach. He wants to do that, but I think it's hard. And well, when NIL came about, he said they weren't going to be paid for this. Well, that was because that was the edict of the university saying we weren't going to play ball like that. So things have changed. We have varsity collective now. It seems to be doing all right in that department. But it's one of those. Greg Gard, from a fan perspective, loses out on all these recruits. Some of them, chances are, they were never even going to come here anyway. They took a visit to Wisconsin to appease the state fans and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah, they end up going elsewhere. But, I mean, how many people has that actually worked out for in the long run if they were offered by Wisconsin? Because there's a few guys that absolutely were going to come here and didn't get an offer. So, I mean, people start throwing me out there, some of those guys, they just weren't going to come here. And then, I mean, one of the most hated man in the NBA
Mm-hmm. 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 Of the just to kind of wrap things up here, a couple questions here, RJ. We've been hearing, Chucky Hepburn looks slimmer. A lot of talk this offseason about Max, and then Connor obviously busting out on the scene last year. Stephen Crawl and such. Tyler Wall coming back for his final year? Which one of these players are you most anxious, excited, curious to see this year, or you expect to make a big jump this year? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. RJ, to wrap it up before I let you go, then back to football here. You got Iowa coming to Camp Randall. First off, what is that rivalry like for people who haven't experienced it? And then second, your pick for the game. Mm-hmm. Mm. Mm-hmm. Wow. Mm-hmm. All right. So who you got before I let you go? What's your pick? All right. I like it. RJ Cardinal, Badger analyst, joining us this morning. Appreciate it, buddy. Always love chatting with you. Enjoy the game and be safe when you go to the game, okay? Just, yeah. All right. All right. Sounds good. Have a good week, bud. We'll talk to you next week, sir. You got it. RJ Cardinal joining us here this morning. We got to take a break here, and we'll wrap things up in just a few minutes. Know that you are in good hands with all of your flooring projects with Carpet City Flooring Center in Eau Claire.
If Culligan isn't treating your home's water, you likely have water problems all around you, like hard-to-clean chalky residue on your shower, faucets, and bath, stains around your sink drains, spots on your dishes and glassware, plus dull, dried-out hair and skin, and problems you don't see, like scaly buildup in the water heater and pipes. But have no fear, you're in the clear with Culligan Products and Service for all your residential and commercial water filtration needs.
Visit CulliganH2O.com for your local Culligan water dealer.
Hey, thinking of getting the latest iPhone? Then check out the amazing wireless offer from Boost Infinite. For more, just dial pound 250 on your phone and say Boost Infinite. You'll have the option to receive a one-time auto-dial text message from this station.
As a roofer, I'm always on the go, so I need to be able to get things done from anywhere. That's why I partner with Beacon. With the Beacon Pro Plus app, I've got the brands I depend on, like Certainty Landmark Pro, right at my fingertips. It's like having my Beacon rep in my pocket 24/7. I rely on Beacon because I never stop building, and neither do they. Now through November, purchase Certainty through Beacon Pro Plus and earn up to $750. Beacon, always building.
His words can move you. Seriously, they can pick you up and carry you to the other side of the room. Or maybe that was the poltergeist again.
They're here.
The Dan Kasper Show, weekday mornings from 6 to 9.
Wrapping up things this morning, just about 5 minutes to the top of the hour here. Big thanks to everybody who contributed with your grades, your grind my gears, or whatever was on your chest here this morning. Big thanks for all the texts, tweets, posts on the video streams, all that good stuff. Facebook messages, had a few of those as well. I know we're all kind of frustrated, maybe a little disappointed here, a little down. Got a bye week to regroup and hopefully make a run. I'll kind of do a little positive, maybe just a little positivity. You know, they are 2-3. Teams have been 2-3 before and made the postseason and made a run there. So, you know, if you wanna look at it that way, you can. But boy, when your offense is struggling to throw deep and Aaron Jones is missing and maybe really kind of, messing up your running game, it's and you got a lot of youngsters on there. Boy, it's going to be tough to score a lot of points. So rest up, Aaron Jones, on this bye week. Rest up, Aaron Jones. We need you. We need you. A lot of pressure is going to be on you, but we need you, man. Okay, so we got to get you back. Boy, has his value. I don't know. Like, you look at the contract, and it seemed like with his cap hit and such that he was going to be an easy cap casualty next year, free up some space and such. But, given how important he is for this offense, I don't know. You might want to keep him around there a little bit. But I will say, we just got done saying it last week too. Like, I don't want to get into draft talk and mock drafts and all that, but I think it's pretty evident right now, at least at this point on October 10th, 2023, Green Bay might have to look at some running backs next year. And they might have to look at some running backs, whether it's to replace Aaron Jones or to add some depth behind there, but not just like running. I want elusive, scat back, speed running backs, okay? That's what I want with this offense. I want a McCaffrey. I want a Bijan Robinson. I want a Gibbs. I want those type of running backs with it. This is what that offense, I think, needs incorporated in there. It's completely different when there's no Aaron Jones in there, and not for a good way. Not a good way. We'll see. I think Matt LaFleur is going to be talking again, and this might be the last time for a few days. But, yeah, I'm pretty sure he'll be chatting with the media today, and we'll see what Coach has to say. But it's not just Joe Barry and defensive talk. It's got to be something that the offense has to look in the mirror and say, what's up? What's going on here? What do we got to do? What are we doing wrong? How can we fix it? How can we change it? Tomorrow, we'll do some stock reports, whose stocks are up, whose stocks are down. We'll hit that up. We'll talk a little baseball. We'll see if the Twins can pick up a win and go to 2-1 on the series, maybe one game away from advancing to the championship series. We'll talk, we'll see what Matt LaFleur has to say today and hit that up tomorrow and such, getting into the bye week here. Plus some other stuff. I've been seeing some stuff coming through about Greg Gard and his presser today, but we'll get to that. We'll get to that tomorrow. I'm going to kind of go over some of that and we'll deep dive into that. Maybe get into a little bit more college stuff and expectations and what you have for the Badgers and other teams out there too. So we'll hit that up all tomorrow. Reminder, Bucks got a preseason game tonight going up against Memphis. The NHL season puck drops tonight too. More games in the coming days. Just got 3 of them on the docket, but they do include, I know we got quite a few Chicago Blackhawks fans around the area. Chicago is playing. G-Man and my Kraken also playing tonight, going up against the defending champ Golden Knights. That's going to do it. DP and the Danettes, they're up next. Have yourself a fantastic rest of the day this Tuesday, Packers fans. It's okay. You'll be a little down, but we're going to be okay. I believe we'll be okay. Talk to you tomorrow.
You're listening to the Dan Patrick Show on WAYY Eau Claire, W286CK Eau Claire.